Hello and welcome to the Coroner's Inquest of Episode 5 of Strange New Worlds Season 4. I'm Admiral Teag. I was assisted in this by the members of the SciFi CSI. This was among the most disturbing crime scenes ever investigated by this office. There are counseling teams standing by for any SciFi CSIs or members of the fandom who may feel they need their services. The episode arrived, DOA. Narrative coherence, pacing, and dignity had all expired shortly after the 6-minute mark. The circumstances were as follows. While the Enterprise slowed to patrol for pirates, Scotty, whose accent is incomprehensible and sounds much closer to Northern Irish than any kind of Scottish, ran a stupid experiment beaming a hideous ragdoll to test transporter range. At this point, a bunch of alarms and klaxons started sounding, and we realized that it had triggered an automatic red alert. No one says red alert. That's not something they do on Strange New Worlds. At this point, the transporter beam starts hopping around the ship, and it gets all of the crew except for Spock, who's off deploying probes in the shuttle. And everyone except him is turned into a low-effort, non-Muppet puppet. At this point, I am legally required to disclose to you that these hideous creatures are not, in fact, Muppets at all, but Muppet-like puppet types. The imposter Muppets have a vestigial passing resemblance to actual Muppets, but they can be differentiated by the look of their eyes and the lack of a wanded hand. Most of them closely resemble the Amazon blank puppet form that you can buy online for about $40, so that's your level of realism and effort for this episode. Though Disney now owns the actual Muppets, Jim Henson's not-so-gifted son refuses to give up, and these things are from the Jim Henson Creature Non-Muppet Puppet Workshop? They suck. Upon return to the Enterprise, Spock finds the crew fleece-bound, and the story is already circling the drain. It was at this point that the Sci-Fi CSIs were called for, and arrived on the scene shortly thereafter. Our agents have a strong feeling that this is the work of the person of interest in the previous case, Alex Kurtzman, story killer and the destroyer of Star Trek. For 8 long years, serialized story killer Alex Kurtzman has avoided the Sci-Fi CSI and the long arm of fandom justice. Star Trek fans are advised not to approach Alex Kurtzman's stories or watch them in any way. We've examined the clues. We have the answers. We have determined the cause of narrative death. It is Strange New Worlds, Season 4, Episode 5, this time on SciFi CSI. Hello, sirs and madams. It's your buddy Admiral Teag. I'm here with my fellow Sci-Fi CSIs. Welcome to the show. We just recovered from what I have to say is a whiplash, stomach-churning, and head-scratching episode of Strange New Worlds. All at the same time. You know, for a little while there, it looked like Starfleet Academy would take the crown, but Disparu's words, well, they're still true. This is the worst, most destructive Star Trek show of all because it masquerades as a good show while selling the absolute worst of everything. This was one of the worst made, the worst conceived, and the worst shot Star Trek episodes ever. You got one of our better, more complete coroner reports up front, and I want to welcome every one of you. Germ, no questions from the failing New York Times. Hello to everybody out there, and let me say hello to my panel. Germ, sir, how are you?
I'm recovering from that slop you made me watch.
You know, you called me up yesterday, and you're like, "Sir, I can't wait for the episode to drop." You know, the thing about Germ that people don't know is he can't wait to tear into that episode of New Trek. He's like the heart of a warrior. All right, so Germ is he's not mad at me at all. How are you doing, JT?
Well, I was sick over the weekend and sad I couldn't be there for real Star Trek. And after watching this, I think I would have rather been sick again for another 3 or 4 days.
This was, an experience. Let's go with Sean. Sir, how are you? How you doing?
Sorry, I'm still getting it out. Jesus Christ, this thing was something. But I will have my an honest, centralized opinion to share later. But God, I still have the taste in my mouth.
You know what? Go ahead. I'm sorry. Finish.
No, that's.
I was going to say.
I'm almost speechless. I'm almost speechless at this.
Was anyone else out there surprised they pulled it in again at only 21 producers this time?
No.
Honestly,
they had a full 21. They had a full 21.
But they didn't give the Henson guy a producer credit.
Well, did they give him a special thanks? Because that's what you do to like contractors and everybody you don't want to admit that you hired.
How did you like that description of how these were not in fact Muppets? But I just want to say the new Hura puppet was dangerously close to being a Muppet. Wouldn't you say so, Jerm?
They were all dangerously close to being something Disney might want to call a lawyer for.
This is legally dubious, not on Paramount CBS, and it's going to be Alex Kurtzman's problem if he tried to do something too crazy. So that'll be great to know
now,
on the way out. This was stupid.
If they're all CGI,
shocker.
If they're all CGI and not actually real puppets moving around, doesn't that kind of get you out of it?
I think there were puppets, and they scanned the puppets so they were able to jump around a little bit, but it's not like they look great when they were moving.
I think they were all CGI. Like they scanned in maybe real puppets, but they actually moved.
The internet says they were practical.
I think they made heads for every puppet.
Physical custom-made props built by Jim Henson's Creature Shop.
Yeah,
so
they were. That was my belief.
I have seen better AI slop than
they don't have any. They don't have any money, so like I think like we're dealing with people like throwing the hero prop across the bridge. Look, Jim Henson's dad sold out, and I don't know if he left him a fortune or whatever, but like Jim Henson like died at like 58 or something like that. He didn't get to live a very long life. It's unfortunate.
He also had a cold, so JT, please be careful.
Yeah. Don't shake his hand.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like Jim Henson, I don't know how much money he was able to amass if his son struggled or not. But I would say, like, this is like the not so fortunate son convention with like Rod Roddenberry and Jim Henson's son, like, colliding here in this creative non-effort where it's like one guy's like, I got to go for broke. And it's like, your father was a uniquely gifted generational entertainer in the field that was very, very narrow. You may have the entertainment gene, but like, we don't know if like you're a guitar player, you've chosen to go into puppetry. It makes sense. But like, I'm going to say it right now. I don't know. I'm going to what you guys say we all, I think, could do. If anyone feels differently, tell me. He doesn't share his father's gift for making very compelling puppets at all. Although he had to make puppets of these people.
I thought the puppets.
There's will and there's talent. Will and talent are two different things.
The puppets themselves were fine. I actually did chuckle when I saw Carol Kane's puppet. That thing looked pretty funny because it fit what it looks just like her, like with the giant eyes and the little mouth, and that hair was like fucking surgical tube or something. That was actually I chuckled at the look of it.
It makes you wonder what the hell Carol Kane was really. Oops, sorry. It makes you wonder what they were really thinking when they were talking to Carol Kane and what they had in mind for the character. And like, what did she hold out for more money to like make her look like a crazy fucking cat lady?
I'll tell you, there she is. Yeah, that actually I laughed.
That
they could replace her with that puppet for the rest of the season.
That one was, I would be happier.
That is a blonde Pepe. That's Pepe the King Prong.
Shit. You're right.
Oh,
you're right. Oh shit.
But is that like surgical tube for her hair? That's what it looks like.
I think what it is it's like a yarn-like thing or oxygen. Yeah, like you said,
it was like plastic. Tube. I saw it looked rubbery.
It looked rubbery to me.
It could be oxygen tube that was twisted around. It's kind of latexy. You could wrap it around something and hit it with a hairdryer. It would take on the curly shape. It's basically, if you have a fish tank, that's I don't want to know. But it's basically what you put in your fish tank to connect to the filter. If anyone has that, it's common enough. Some people will understand enough.
That's the dead man. We can never understand what she's saying.
We had no idea. But you know what, you guys, you are the best. I can't thank you enough for being here. Let me just get a browser open so I can properly thank you guys for showing up for our little Star Trek show. One of the weirder episodes of this show that has been just unapologetically weird throughout its run. And one of the things we can count on is it's never been good. Out there right now, I'm seeing... the real head case. Hello to you, sir. I see Sean. I see the dead man. Who's out there? Let's see.
Mark Harkness.
We got SciFi Sith Den, Mark Harkness. You know what? My usual hack for getting this to show up is malfunctioning. So let me take a look. Krimwan is out there. Krimwan.
Oh, yeah. Krimwan.
Ruby Who. Thank you, man. We have a couple of things going on out there.
Yeah, Ruby sent a member chat and a gifty.
I want to thank Ruby Who for being a member for 18 months. And you know what? What a wonderful message just to, pass on our message. That's so nice of you. If there's something you want from us too, or something you're wondering about, just go ahead and say it. If I could change the terms, I don't think I could even make them more generous. I lose all of my all of my people. I think I gave more characters than most people for the sub messages. I wanted to be able to talk to people, and I want to thank Ruby who also brought one member into our community. Thank you so much. You know what? These are the times that try a Denobulan's multiple marriages. They are the worst of times. They're the very worst of times. Sean and I can remember wonderful years with no Star Trek whatsoever, where we were so happy compared to what we had to go through this year, where we've had what we can truly call, and I've never said these words quite the same way before, but a true embarrassment of riches, hasn't it? It really been just an absolute embarrassment of riches. One of the worst seasons of anything ever. I don't know what it is. It's certainly not Star Trek. Let's get this hideous monster has its role in our little passion play tonight. I want to invite everybody who's come to the show. It's good to see everyone. I see. Did I say how to sit down? Buddy is out there. I see Josiah Clinch, who is Narc of the House Clan. Great follow the real head case. I did say hello to Dead Man. Hello to you, sir. Sir. You know what, guys? We're going to have some fun and some laughs with this one. If you're coming through now or later, please do me a favor, hit the like and follow. This one just doesn't have the outrage pop of Starfleet Academy. But Starfleet Academy, it's so... I think that Sean may have said this one during Starfleet Academy, that it's so over the top, ridiculously stupid that it's hard to see the harm lasting from that one. It's just you'll be able to laugh it off. With Strange New Worlds, it's most people don't watch any of it because it's so boring. It's it looks like it's so important. It has to always maintain the attitude of being profound. I figured out their meta, or whatever their guidance to make this is, if someone turns on randomly, because no one would ever turn on our show on purpose, they have to think that they missed out on something great, and something great's about to happen at every single moment. This way, we can never say anything, but we always have to sound profound. So it's the most empty profundity you've ever heard in your life. But thank you so much, Ruby Hoove. This update in Strange New Worlds brought to you by Ruby Hoove and the gifted membership, and a member of our channel for 18 months. Thank you so much. We have a lot of people's channel memberships coming around for serious updates.
Now, Admiral, one of the things we started talking about was, are these really Muppets, or, the energy invested in them? Probably the biggest disappointment for me with these Muppets was not one of them ran around screaming like Kermit with their hands flailing above their head going, ah!
One of them did.
I really wanted that. I really wanted that. None of them
They
moved
did do
like
it.
that.
They did that.
They did?
Yeah. The scene when they got boarded, one of them was running away and
they did the full-on Kermit. The thing is, it wasn't well. This was very poorly edited. this was, you know what, we love the poorly edited. You know what, an important part of our demographic is serving the poorly edited shows of television. And my God, you know, I mean, not only is Star Trek now so bad, and I want to thank everybody who's tuning in, because this, let's face it, we're not bringing you coverage of a high quality or well-made Star Trek show. We are bringing you probably the most important coverage in Star Trek, though, because this one right now at this moment is a hideous monster meant to cannon bomb and destroy the fandom. And this year, like, no one was able to pay them, so they had no causes, and they got caught up in self-destructing their own franchise. So, you know, with no further ado, we had notes from JT and some info from the SciFi CSI, who started us off. That you know, I really, what do you guys think of the structured beginnings? Are they keeping us on the rails? Shall I keep them, or do we throw them out?
They're definitely helping.
I like them. I enjoy them. Gets the mind warmed up. Gets you in the mood. Because
I don't
watching these shows. It takes a lot to get me in the mood, and I'll leave it there. I'll leave it there.
I don't enjoy making them, but if they make for a better show, I'm all down for it. I like, you guys, you know, let me know in the comments if you like them. You know, making one for every show, it's a little time consuming, but going on late last week and having the full setup probably made for a better, more quality show. And like, because we ran late, we got to spend some time with Mark, so that worked out. You know what? I'm always going to bring you the best, most cohesive beginning I can. So if you're here and you're waiting an extra couple of minutes, I promise. And hey, it's Mr. House Party 6. I checked that email that we shared today. I took a look at it. I didn't see any correspondence, but it's good to talk to you, and it's good to see you, Mr. House Party 6. You missed the edited upload, so go back and watch that later. It's pretty fun. We've stuck with the SciFi CSI with this, and Admiral Teag's star log for Star Trek, and I think it's kept us more structured, and it has helped. And when we do go for a looser moment, it's like it's designated like yard time for the Star Trek convicts, because, like, let's face it, this is the repente of our existence as Star Trek reviewers. But you know what? As lead SciFi CSI, looking at my notes here, I would have to say, looking at cardinal points of this episode that are hard to find in this. JT, would you like to begin? SciFi CSI agent JT Kirk arrived on the scene first. He had watch duty that night, and he began documenting the crime scene with photographs and also taking his notes.
With a giant stogie, by the way. Just like a massive stogie that's going to take you 4 hours to get through.
It's Kurtzman Trek. You have to smoke. Everyone smokes. This is the first episode in like 3 episodes we didn't have smoking, if I'm right about this one.
Well, how else are we going to sound like that one old lady on the show?
Oh, God. She didn't get there by not smoking. That's absolutely for sure true. So you know what? We have a special treat for you here. We have the Star Trek Strange New Worlds slideshow.
I love it. So
here, this will orient you. We start off with an absolutely stupid effing experiment, and I think, is this the third episode where we've mentioned things to do with Lucille Ball? Like, we are just showing so many gay tells in this show. Kurtzman is the most gay-coded straight man to be. I mean, he's married to a woman, so we'll give him benefit of the doubt. But
allegedly,
so was Rock Hudson.
You know what? Everyone's allowed to have their opinion, gentlemen of the panel, as long as we say that they're just opinions. We don't know. We're not there.
So is Will Smith is also married to
someone.
You really going to call that a woman?
Sean, you take
Jerem,
the
let's be careful there.
Of Will Smith's wife out of your transported mouth.
Yeah, you know what?
I'll slap myself.
While we're speaking of all these crazy things, I'd just like to say there is someone you know, who had been out there talking to us about this, and we usually tune in for a little bit of Jesse Gender, and JT, you want to just quickly give us a Jesse Gender overview really quickly?
Yeah, just because, folks, we watch sometimes people that actually say that they like this stuff, and they found this episode cute. Not the worst that's ever been done, not the best, but they thought it was cute. they went on a diatribe about how season 3 was plagued with too many heteronormative relationships, and that they were happy to
They
see
didn't
this
use my
Connie.
term hetero-abnormative. Jesse Gender should
Yeah.
watch my show.
Well, they were happy that this Connie/Spock relationship ended, and so now they don't have to see a man and a woman doing nice things together.
They weren't doing much but dancing. Everything else was implied. But you know
I've
what?
got
I have a response to Jesse Gender real quick.
Sure. It doesn't matter. Nobody cares.
The relationships. I mean, look, if there was a gay relationship on these shows, and the show was actually good, then people wouldn't really be like complaining about it all over the place. The show sucks. That's why people
It
complain.
doesn't matter.
Anyway,
Nobody cares.
I have a whole chalk outline drawn around this relationship for later on. By the way, Admiral. I mean,
that was so controversial, sir.
One of the things that I wanted to get from the rest of you on the panel, because maybe I'm nitpicking here, but right behind our two actors, there is an enhancement to the transporter room to make it not obvious that this is recycled from Discovery. And they put like a 60-inch television behind them on like a Visa mount, and then turned a computer monitor sideways to put a smaller one on the side. Now, that in itself, the actual content on the displays, I think is pretty decent, but I don't think the design language works with anything else they have in any of their other sets or on the ship. If you look over to the right, they're trying to do like a TOS thing.
Cable around.
Yeah.
Really quick, can I just throw something out there? In this episode, we have the relationship systems where Spock dumped by Lon post implied sex. The writers only like model for this is that the female of the species after mating destroys and discards the male. This is true across the Romulans, the Vulcans, the Klingons, the humans. The female of the species just sort of dominates, destroys, and discards the male. And it's universally accepted by the male of all of these different sci-fi species that, you know, that's pretty much their role. Spock, I told you that I wanted to be felt. This was not what I had in mind. Yeah, you know what?
That's a good one.
I reached out to Snowdub. I don't know if he had a chance to answer about this one. He has not replied to my query yet. You know what? I was just like, do you have a reaction about the Star Trek episode? It's like that's the advantage of having a decent Rolodex as a YouTuber. It's like Snowdub was baffled by the pictures. You can tell his reactions. He was just baffled. I think all of us were baffled when this episode got going, but Spock gets dumped by La'an, and I just want to say Spock in this episode gets dumped 3 times. I don't know if it counts that 2 of them are by a woman who's dumped him once before.
Well, you're getting a little ahead of yourself, though, Admiral.
We may have set a new Trek record for dunking on one dude. Was that the price of the other relative dignity that was spared Ethan Peck? Right? Ethan Peck was given. Was that the price of Ethan Peck being given somewhat of a dignified role amongst his puppet cast?
No.
Because even though people's puppets got thrown around, at least they got a week off. He had to be there, so he wasn't made to look as stupid as he could have. And it was almost like I hate to invoke this, and Germ is going to probably get angry and attack me when I say this, but it's like they watched the Counter Clock Syndrome from TAS. If you know TAS.
Again, Admiral, they didn't watch that.
Germ is affirming he does.
They haven't watched any of the episodes.
If
I don't think they even know TAS exists. They don't even know it.
They've stolen from it. The recreation room, Germ.
They may know some trivia, but I don't think they've watched them.
An intern watched it and gave them notes.
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on, Miskatonic Madman? There was something I saw. Somebody doing something worth actually seeing is filming at Miskatonic Studios in England.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, there's a Miskatonic Studios in England. So it's not Batman related either, too. So it's like maybe it's so I don't know if it's Christopher Nolan related, but like I forgot what it was. I meant to tell you about it. It's good to see you seeing a couple of people. It's good to see Mr. House Party 6 too. If only there was gratuitous nudity. If there was, it would all be male nudity. Hey, Donnie, what's going
the
on?
Same thing back to.
Hello, Admiral Teag, Sean. JT,
Hey,
Jared,
Power
and
Ranger
all.
Donnie.
Hey,
It would be
Dum-Dum.
gratuitous puppet nudity.
Hey,
That's what they would use.
It would
Hey,
be so much more.
that
see
can
ya.
work, Germ. That
repulsive
can
than
work.
Team America.
I was just going to say, we've all seen Team America World Police, the unedited version.
Let me
It-
just
it
get this
can go.
major announcement out of the way, though. It is Power Rangers month, so congratulations, Donnie. I'm going to guess that's August, right? So Power Rangers month. Hope everyone is well, despite the Disney Plus Power Rangers reboot show being scrapped. Is there another one? I got my eyes open for it. And hey, head case, good to see it. Guys, sirs, matters. I think it's fine. You know what? I need a brain scan after this episode of Strange New Worlds. I really am considering getting one. Also, this seems to be an excuse to get the pay for ketamine treatment for me. This was not bad. This is terrible. Adams. All right, so JT, we'll get into the relationship later, but
Yep. So
a record of 3 times in this relationship, 2 by a woman who's dumped him once already. So does that count as like the same dumping repeated twice more? Is he only dumped twice because he gets dumped 3 times in this episode?
if you get broken up by the same woman twice, but there's another woman in between, does that count as a separate breakup, or were you never really broken up?
Depends if you smash.
Well, a puppet
Okay.
to bring sort of breaks up with Spock too. So I mean, it's like 3 different, like
Yeah.
2 different. He might get dumped 4 times. We'll see. All right.
Oh, and hail to
JT
Alaska Jeff.
Hey, Alaska
Good
Jeff,
evening,
it's
sir.
good to see you. It's good to see everybody. We got a great crowd here, so let's get going into the examination.
Yeah.
You just
So-
guys, if you haven't heard the Sci-Fi
Mhm.
Coroner's report, we did it earlier. Check it out later. It's the first couple of minutes of the show, and now we're getting on with the crime scene photos. JT was the reporting agent on the scene. JT, a lot of blood at the scene.
Barrels,
Fluids,
like
fluids.
oil barrels full. Yeah,
Fluids.
fluids.
A lot of fluids.
A lot of fluids.
Fluid
Some
bag.
have not been identified yet. Could come from multiple sources.
All right. So,
so-
they're going to make a transporter experiment. Here we have our idiots in our transporter room, and for some reason we see a different kind of readout. I guess they turned their transporter console around so it looked like it had some sort of interface that we would see. It was like, that's an angle we never see. That's the transporter's eye view.
This is probably one of the only cool props that they've made in like a decade of Kurtzman Trek is this transporter room console. Just to set
It's a
the story up,
mashup
folks,
of other failed props that turned into one successful one. But yes.
Scotty has a rival who beat him by a 16th of a point for valedictorian. So I guess that makes him salutatorian. If you remember your DS9
And
whinging
only
there.
in Starfleet do you have non-chivalrous rivalries. We have such anger and jealousy by Scotty, who's like a woman. He should hang out with Ortegas more. She could teach him how to be a man.
So to break this record, he's going to try to break the record of 26,000 kilometers by going up to somewhere between 27 and 30,000 kilometers. And he's going to beam this hideous puppet into the quarters of the rival. Because, of course,
know what? I
he's
just
still petty
wanna
and
say
jealous
this.
like a decade later.
Yeah, exactly. This Scotty is not strong enough to be a man, and he's not made for a woman.
Now, the writer's guide for Star Trek, the original series, Real Star Trek, says that the maximum range of a transporter is 40,000 kilometers. So either this is before Real Star Trek or their other timeline, whatever. It's shorter than that. Also, keep in mind the distance between the Earth and the Moon is about 290,000 kilometers. So they're not really going that far. Okay. In space terms, this other Starfleet ship that they want to beam this onto is basically right on top of them. If you think about how large space is, they're only a tenth the difference between the Earth and the Moon. This is damn close still. keep that in mind for later because it'll be a massive plot hole. And Sean's shaking his head up and down. I think he knows where I'm going with that. So,
well, just to clarify, God, there are so many plot holes in this thing, and the only out they have, and I'm just going to spoil it if I can, is that this whole thing's a fucking dream.
Well, to JT's point, really quick.
Sir, we land on the moon to go to Mars, and that's what we're doing with the moon.
Sir.
Sir.
well done, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, well done.
Yeah. So, but there are so many. But every episode, this is nothing new. The plot holes are nothing new, but it's like they turned it up for this one.
They're
they
also
were deeper. These were quite deep and structural. These were really bad. This was like we could get another production company to just come to our set and do our show, and we won't really have to be around. We'll have Ethan do it. He drew the short straw on this one. Melissa Navia finally needs some time off. We kept her working continuously for 8 years and scrapped episodes that we just paid her scale for. She's like, the most overworked actress to actually accumulate. She made more money than the rest of us, ironically, because we worked her so hard. She's ridiculous. And this fucking puppet.
Yeah.
You know what went through my mind was Descent Part 2, Brent Spiner's retort to Geordi. I am not your puppet anymore. It's like, fuck you and your fucking puppet.
Not a good episode of TNG, by the way.
Yep. So
but I do approve of the acting in that from Brent Spiner. I thought he did
sure, yeah, he always turns in a good performance.
Also, it was a Hilter analogy, so I give it a little bit of leeway, because that part's always fun for me.
I wanted to point out the only reason we know all this information in the scene is because we have subtitles. If you had watched this in the 60s, you would have said, I had no idea what the hell Scotty was on about for about 5 minutes straight.
I couldn't understand what the fuck he was talking about. He sounded like, I don't want to be a neophyte here, guys. Like my best friend growing up, his mother was born in Scotland. She had a Scottish accent right off the bat, and she used to love Scotty on Star Trek, and she never mocked the accent. She was like, I think it's great. And she was the sweetest lady. And my own grandmother was from Northern Ireland. Okay. My dad's mom was from the north, and she had the thickest Irish accent to the point where I regret to say this, but you know what? Like we had a very fun time together, and she was really sweet. And she was the nicest grandma. But like a lot of time, I was just like answering with non sequiturs because grandma's Irish accent was so thick. And I'm not even as close as I am with her, with this guy. This guy is just like Brad Pitt from that movie. What is it? Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, where he plays quote unquote the pikey, which I believe is a pejorative term. As an Irish person myself, I believe I can go there. I can use the P word.
Yeah, the accent.
American Irish person.
The accent might be approaching some type of realism, but it also just you cannot understand him. And because they only ever do one take of any scene, it just didn't work. They needed to reshoot it and tone down the accent like 20% so we can actually understand what you're saying.
If Disparu and myself can occasionally lip sync, or maybe Disparu just has an awesome collar mic, but if Disparu and I can occasionally lip sync, so can he. You know what I mean? Come on. They couldn't go there and he'd be like, you got like a sound studio, like a sound recording studio. It's like a lot less expensive. Like you have the whole afternoon, just, try to match your own lips, watch it, try it 3 or 4 times. Like we got a sound engineer. Like I could probably put together a decent enough that like it would sound better than what they had here. This was one of the most poorly shot, most poorly sound balanced episodes. It was like they heard JT and Sean
Admiral
complaining
Teag,
and got people's heads in, but that's all they managed to do. It was otherwise really horrible and very unartful and uncreative. What do we have on the edge of the long range scanners? It's our pal West Kago. He'll save every one of us. Sir, don't shake his hand. Yeah, it's cold. Sir, don't shake his hand. He has pride. He has pride to be with love, sir. Wes Cagle, it's great to see you. We've seen fire and we've seen rain, but we've never seen New Trek love where anyone could get out the stain.
So after this whole frat boy scheme is kind of dumped out here, Spock says, yeah, I'm late to go see Lon. And he just leaves. And that's the end of the scene. Like, they had no idea how to transition it. So they're like, yeah, just walk out and then we'll go.
Usually you would have Spock walk through the hallway, and in this episode we do have extras, but the thing is, if we had Spock walk through the hallway, we would have had to show them, and I think that what happened was we scanned our extras from episode 1, at least a few of them, and then we just didn't even tell them what this was going to be used for. So when they were walking around the ship for the convincibility of a live ship in episode 1, where the quality was higher, they were just they used them for a fraction of a second and had them disappear in fair use time. They used YouTuber rules. It's you see people work for less than 5 seconds. You can't have any features.
I think the extras were probably some of the puppeteers. I was hey, why don't you go on screen? We'll give you
that might have been done, but then we would have had to get them there to scan them, you know what I mean? Or transport the scanning rig around. This is a substantial piece of equipment. It takes 4 trucks to move it around, maybe 2. The rig itself is huge, but the amount of computer equipment and other stuff, I don't know if you can throw that all in one huge rig. That is, I think, a lot of stuff. I've seen people have shown me pictures of these volume structures, and it is really crazy. It's good to see everybody staggering in. Let your friends know about us. Hit those like and follow buttons. We have quite the slideshow tonight. So Lon just dumps Spock. It's she's Spock goes in and she just out of nowhere is I know it, you know it. When this part comes around, Spock, don't be difficult. Just move off. Bugger off, Spock. You're a sex pest, Spock. And it's just the last time we saw them, they were dancing and whispering sweet nothings. She's completely changed her mind and she's icing him out. And maybe there was 1 or 2 indications here and there that she was somewhat pissed off when she was having little meltdowns and being angry in other episodes. But in those episodes, they were shot with reaction shot cutaways. Oh no, sir.
Oh, while we're working on getting
he has returned.
Okay. Admiral, I do have the chalk outline of this relationship if you'd like me to deliver it in my observations of the crime scene.
Continue. Yeah, it's just orienting our audience.
So I'd like to point out
points. You have the time codes.
A few observations, and this is at 250, but you got the slideshow. This is perfect.
Wait, I have what's that? I have time codes?
I have time codes. You may have time codes. Yeah.
Did I say Sean? I meant to say JT. I'm sorry.
So point 1, she breaks up with him.
Is JT still here? I'm not hearing him.
Oh, yeah. We can hear you, Sean. Can you not hear us?
No, I can hear you.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
No.
Yeah. We're all 5 by 5.
I can't hear you, Teag.
Okay. We had that problem yesterday. I guess you saw the show. The day before yesterday, you saw the show, I guess. All right. Moving on. Go ahead, JT.
Yeah. So she breaks up with him.
You guys.
She's the breaker-upper. She loves to boss him around for weeks now in almost every scene. She admits that she's a poor communicator. She also admits she has no regrets. And her thing is, we need to focus on ourselves.
And everything she says, Spock affirms. So
yes.
But he doesn't affirm it in a way that's negative, or reflects badly on her. She's Spock, we both know I'm not good at the communication thing. And they always the typical Kurtzman dialogue, and Spock is I too am poor at communication.
No, let's look at him.
You know what I mean? That's how he says all these things. And she's oh, Spock, let's cut to the chase. Cutting to the chase is one of your more enduring qualities, Law.
Exactly.
Spock, you need to shut up. I am
so agreeable
now because you're so right.
Great point.
And she's we need to go our separate ways. Spock, he's you are correct that this is the time for me to resume my path of self-discovery. Thank you for orienting me and getting me out of this relationship that was only going to hold me back anyway. She's Spock, this is why. And she's she's already Kermitized herself as Spock is walking out grateful for being dumped. He couldn't be more happy about it, but being a genius that he is, he calls a hotter girl to Pring, and he's I must mate. Maybe Ponfar's coming up on Spock.
So if we look at him, okay, he has put in all the effort in this relationship from day one. He repeatedly has tried to modify his behavior to make her happy. He's listened to all of her rational, quote unquote, problems about her metamorphosizing and all this bullshit. He repeatedly tried to attend to her mental state by asking her, are you okay? Or is this working for all that shit? Adopted her hobbies like dancing. And he always gave her a pleasant talking to in the bedroom at night without ever asking for anything in return. He's like, I can wait another 6 years. It's good, honey. So
it was always like the same as we saw here. She would just be like, I'm so stressed out from being Collins descended. Of course, you're right. It's logical that you would feel this way, but it is
well,
wrong.
he's a perfect boyfriend. The thing is,
he doesn't need sex much. Every
he
7
has
years.
nothing. He has nothing for her to fix, so she didn't like that.
In the analysis of this is the classic relationship.
Shit, you're right.
This is these writers only write what they know.
You know it, they don't.
This is the classic relationship the female writers of the show have, and it's terrible and it's toxic. She brought nothing of value to the relationship. She never attempted to get to know him, never attempted to experience what being a Vulcan is like. If the
relationship had been one weekend, I'd say go Spock.
She gave the 1%, he gave the 99. She broke it off with him with like no real reason. And the reason is she's just garbage. She's garbage. And that's what the female writers of this show know how to write, because they write themselves. And they only know how to write what they know. And that's how to be awful in a relationship. And I'll tell you, folks, if this were a real woman, or if this was a man doing the same thing to you, no one deserves how she ever treated him in this relationship. Even if you're just dating, I'm not talking about being married for a long time. She's selfish the whole time. She was an adult adolescent, and the writers didn't even realize they were writing themselves the whole time.
I want to just say right now, if you are a woman in Spock's position right now, where you're in a loveless relationship, but you happen to resemble Connie, right now there is help available. Contact Admiral Teag at the email on this channel, and I will get in touch with you on StreamYards. You must have a camera, and we can help you work through your problems. And of course, we'll see some pictures up front.
But yeah, so I mean, that's kind of what we saw on the pavement, you know, as I was putting the chalk around and putting all the little number placards around on all the evidence we found. They just can't write good relationships. And it really kind of disgusted me when I was watching some of the other videos out there on the internet, kind of being disappointed that this relationship ended or talking about all this other stuff. No, she was a load of crap to him the whole time. And they bring down the Spock
Well, we,
Spock
the audience, saw
character
it coming because
every
she
time he
was
gets
setting it
dumped by
up
these
last
people.
week. Last week, she went to Melissa Navia, her Ortega's character, and she was like, "Oh, I've had it with Spock. He's such an ass." It's like everyone can tell you're freezing him out and think he's an asshole. It's like, hey, he's such an asshole.
Well, in Nurse Chapel was a low quality woman too. Spock should have never been dating her. He deserved better than her. And there are good women in Star Trek. This is the really sad thing. There are great women, great relationships in Star Trek. And they just wrote them like terrible people. You should not date people like this. I'm just telling you right now, it's dating advice. This is terrible. And you're going to be in an unhappy relationship if you end up with either one of these two types of people.
What's that, Mr. Sulu? The manosphere we've entered? Thank you, sir.
Sorry, guys. I know it might be a little more in-depth than anybody cares about, but I'm like sitting here, wait a minute. Well, how is this written? What is the larger message behind this? And how are these people depicted? And in the 90s, in TNG or in TOS?
To AI bullet points that will create the chapters later when I...
people love to hate on like Keiko. Keiko was a much, by leaps and bounds, a better partner to Miles O'Brien than either one of these two. And it comes down to the writing. But anyway, we're going way too deep.
Most of the time. Most of the time.
Besides, Spock has a type. He likes to be stepped on by strong women. That's the only type of man these writers can even halfway respect. So That's the type of guy he has to be.
Well, he can't appreciate it enough either. He's just like, I have had flowers sent to La'an to congratulate her on breaking up from it with me. It's like her breakup talk to Spock is akin to NCAA basketball coach at halftime losing in the Sweet 16. Just blow it, like she was within inches of being like Bobby Knight in Days of Yore, like she barely not blowing her stop. Work factor, yes, exactly. Yeah, Peggy. You know what? I mean, you know what, Mr. House Party? Look at this. Look at this. There's a man on the wing of this plane. This
the bigger the peg, the bigger the peg factor.
Somebody has to make the meme with Shatner looking away with this thing floating outside.
Yeah.
It makes itself. It makes it so. Someone please make that meme for Admiral Teag and hit me up with it tomorrow. I love all you guys, and that's what I need you guys to really do this for me. You have more meme skills than me. Hey, I see John the Beagle Dad. There's more people pouring in. Mark, I said hello to you. Sig Valdeson, I know I said hello, but you know what? Sig and a lot of you guys are leaving comments, and that's really helping the channel to get more views. So keep leaving those comments, especially on the Admiral uploads. We love the Admiral upload comments. Hey, option trader. Vulcan time of Peg Far. Yeah, exactly. Not to be mistaken with Jamie Farr's Klinger, who would have been a more dignified character than anything in this episode. Anson Mount's Puppet Pike is just as much of an asshole as Anson Mount's Human Pike, maybe more, and also needs the stunning and brave women. I don't think that it is any coincidence that in this terrible episode of Star Trek, what we see right here is Pike carried on the shoulders of two women. What is more appropriate of this Star Trek? What image is while he's wearing, debatably cross-dressed?
Oh, it definitely symbolizes what they want you to believe.
It's everything about their show in one image right here.
Yeah.
One man on the back of two women being carried on their shoulders, taking all the credit, being the face of it. Well, but more or less cross-dressing in a secretive way. This might be the most. This is where the artistic power goes. It's like, how do we make it a gay statement? I don't know what it is about Alex Kurtzman that he needs to constantly reaffirm that he feels terrible about being straight.
Hey, at least for once we have,
Alex.
We at least have Pike teabagging somebody in this shot.
Finally, right? Connie, one of her genetic enhancements is that she has lips in the back of her neck. What I wanted to say here is this kind of kills the idea that Una doesn't have augments. There you go, Sean.
Jeez.
I have been the first member of the panel has broken down and started laughing. You know what? It only goes downhill from here as we continue the puppet slideshow.
No, this would be one hell of a Dutch oven. I'm just going to say that.
So, all right, well, we have spent enough time on the cucking of Spock. It was terrible. The Cucking of Spock was a horrible chapter, and it draws to a close now. And we move to Rebecca Romaine's body double. Still has a figure like she had like 25, but not quite 30 years ago.
Yeah.
It's not quite Mystique, but it has an allure that Rebecca Romaine doesn't have. 10 months gone.
There's obviously something wrong here because the shirt is too short, and so her boobs make the shirt kind of hang out in front of her. But then when you look at her in non-body doubled shots, her gut is the thing that's causing the shirt to hang out.
Yeah, they didn't know how to handle it. They're like, in the up close shots with her face out of picture, we'll fool those stupid men. We'll show them what's good looking. In both Disney and in Star Trek, if you notice, they sexualize women over 55 only. In the Boba Fett show, the only two women who were sexy were Jennifer Beals, 58. In Boba Fett, the only two women who were sexy were Ming-Na Wen, 58, and Jennifer Beals, 58, at the time of the show.
But they did that tonight, and I have that in my notes for later on. We'll get to it.
They do it in section 31 as well. I mean, Michelle Yeoh looks great for 62. If I was going home to that as like a 65-year-old guy, yeah, like sure. I'm thrilled. But like, as I sit here as a younger man or a man who, consumes television, I'm not like decades younger than Michelle Yeoh, but let's face it, like, do I really want to see, anything? I mean, even Demi Moore looks pretty awkward, and she's a best case in the mid-60s. So at any rate, Pike has a new chair, which is not like this part of the episode, guys. His new chair is unlocked by his palm scan. Later on, we're going to have a plot hole built around the chair, which is going to show us that this chair on the bridge of the Enterprise, controlling the flagship of this fleet, their most powerful ship with all of these weapons, 10 times larger than the real Enterprise, has less security and less redundancy and less password ability to overcome it than your cell phone. My cell phone has more than a hand scan in case I hurt my hand, like the time I slammed it in the door and it swelled up and my fingerprint didn't work for a week for my thumb. Ooh. I mean, I have other finger scans, but a
PIN code totally defeated this entire crew.
They didn't have as much technology as Wrath of Khan. They didn't have as much, but they didn't have as much technology as the 1998.
Oh, Admiral.
Oh, Admiral's roboting there.
He is.
You have a
hold on.
Yeah. We didn't get that last 20 seconds.
That's a great expression to have it frozen on too.
I will say, did anyone? Yeah, it is.
Great.
Did anyone else notice that this ship, or this chair rather, had an awfully strange combination of beeps, and there was like a weird buzzing, humming noise coming from the chair. Like it almost felt like maybe he would get a little too much out of the chair, like a personal massager of some sort.
Can you guys hear me now? Am I working? I see my mic lighting on.
This is a personal massager.
Exactly. Admiral's still kind of doing his. We've got some subspace difficulties, I think. What did you guys think of the chair?
It looked like they stole it from a mall. You should be putting quarters into that thing.
Yeah.
Well, it certainly made the noise like it, right?
Exactly.
So, and that was kind of, I think it was supposed to be some kind of a tribute to maybe Enterprise with the captain's chair, right?
I wouldn't call it a tribute.
Rip off.
Theft.
Yeah. And folks, so like this whole chair now, no voice authentication, no PIN code, no swipe pattern, no text another device, nothing. The entire ship now is just controlled by this stupid chair. And why they're doing that, not at like a space dock, making that big change, I don't know. After this, we'll just move on, I guess. We'll let the Admiral catch up.
Yeah, I think the Admiral's going to restart his computer there. He's getting some techie problems. So I took the screenshot thing off because it was fuzzy.
I'll go through some of my timestamp notes because it goes in order of the episode. If you guys cut me off anytime, feel free. They go to the next scene. Spock is now in his quarters, and he's struggling with some kind of mental disease. And so to handle the emotions that are breaking through, he says, basically, I am one with the Force. The Force is with me, over and over and over again. And realizes that he has this mental illness. So he calls up his ex to Pring. And because
calling your ex to help you with a mental problem is always the right choice.
So what we didn't really go through with in the opening monologue was they're trying to head to Vulcan because Spock needs to meditate and seek, probably something up on a mountain for guidance.
He said he needs to study logic, he said, because you can't study logic anywhere else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Since they're stuck patrolling for pirates, even though they're stationary in this random point in space, the next best thing is to call up his ex and try to get mental help from her. And she's a total 100% stone cold bitch the entire time to him. And she's like, well, since you can't go to Vulcan, I'm just like the next best thing. And she's super pissed at him. She's still showing an emotion. She's angry with him for ending their relationship. And it's the least Vulcan conversation between two Vulcans I've ever
Spock
seen.
should have called her and said, it's a quarter after 100 hours. I'm a little drunk and I need you now.
So, yeah, she also says, I'm sorry to him, which is an emotion. And she says, you know what I recommend you do? You do what you did on the Vulcan holiday of Chaktek Boch or something. And he's like, oh, isn't that coming up?
Bitch.
No, it was 2 weeks ago. Letting him know, just being a dick, that he forgot about it, so he should just forget about his mental problem. I'm like, what kind of a jackass is this woman?
I hated stupid Spock and how dumb he was, and he couldn't remember how to read a calendar in this. How's my am I 5 by 5?
Yeah, you're good
Turn
now.
off your camera for a little while. That may help you.
You're okay, but not all the way back.
Yeah, you sounded good. Can you still robot-y?
Oh, well,
So
you guys keep going. Carry on.
okay. Yeah,
Oh, my
so
bandwidth.
she promises to come in and visit him and help him with his mental illnesses. If she says, this is what she says, on one condition, you promise me no hijinks of any kind.
Yeah.
Like, what the is this? More current day Kurtzman speak. What Vulcan is going to say no hijinks? That pissed you guys off too?
She should have said shenanigans.
Right?
Or tomfoolery. One of those two would have been appropriate.
Ooh, I like that. No
Those are two of my favorite words, by the way. That and beverage.
So she's an incredibly emotionful Vulcan. He is totally just bent under and made to sit in that chair in the hotel room, if you know what I mean. And
the cuck chair.
Yes.
Yes. I saw that on World Class Bullshitters today. They're like, every hotel has a cuck chair. Every hotel room. That made me laugh.
Yeah. And you're sitting here going, how much have they just tried to destroy their own Spock character? Because he's not the same Spock from real Star Trek. But even then, you've just so emasculated this character over and over and over again. And how long do you think we're going to be interested in this emotion-ridden guy? Like, he's got more emotions than your average human that we have to deal with. Do I want to spend an entire season dealing with a Vulcan's trauma? Get out of here with that. Just get out of here with it. So they're like, okay. So then they try this experiment that Spock or that the Admiral just put on the screen. They put the
we're a little ahead of the screenshot here. It's a little ahead of where JT is in the story because Scotty does a transporter thing. Oh yeah, and then the ship beams itself.
Yes, that was in my notes as well.
He doesn't even say like, "Did you cloak?" How's my voice?
Yeah,
it's better. We'll just got to make sure that you're consistent, Admiral, because it was going in and out. The transporter, as you see here, just has an accident. They beam off a puppet, and all of a sudden, it's
only a level
beaming.
5, JT. It could have been a level 6.
It's beaming the entire crew in rapid succession. It can't do that. You can beam like what, 6 people at once? It can't do this.
It's beaming them really fast because they can't stay on camera long enough to have to get paid at all it's from their previous use. It does. It's not presented as like a transporter wave moving out. It just jumps around in a mercurial manner, hitting one person after another. And hello to everybody.
The chat's rocking tonight, by the way.
Yeah.
You guys are awesome.
Yeah. But JT, I mean, the only thing, like when I saw this happen, I'm like, this has to be a dream. I mean, that's the only thing that excuses all these stupid plot holes. But I wouldn't put it past them to actually do this.
Their transporter pad is scratched up all to shit, by the way. They need to polish it or paint it. But I bet they figured the show was canceled already at this point. Anyway, yeah, I had that in my notes. The Enterprise, after beaming all the people off, then beams itself.
I think this
So
is
picture a
Kurtzman's
snake
unrealistic
eating its
bid right
tail
now.
in trying to, yeah.
This right now was made during the unrealistic period for Kurtzman, where he's making his bid. He thinks that possibly he knows he's going to throw a lot of shows up against the wall that are shite, and he makes this one that he thinks is going to be a little better, and he's going to masquerade it as a good show with an okay, debatable, watchable, episode 1. It's at least start a discussion, and then we've got the it's either Space Stream or Space LDS.
Well, they did Space LDS last week.
It was Alex Kurtzman's LDS from college, possibly coming back on him. I have continuously cited Alex Kurtzman's dorm room as one of the most important influences in this show. Things that happen in that dorm room mostly are what we do. That's why we never go to a Strange New World. He almost failed out one semester, and that was formative in his life.
You can clearly see here, by the way, the TV and then the computer monitor that they turned on its side. It just looks cheap here. Anyway,
They couldn't just play the red alert sound, and it occurred to me it's because they've never done that before in New Trek. They're just like, all right, alert, or all right, attack. They don't do the they don't scan things. They don't do any technical talk. It's all very stupid. So they had to show it on screen to us on a big screen TV for us to get it.
And folks, at 10 minutes in, we finally get the puppets. The Enterprise mysteriously rematerializes after beaming itself.
This is how the beaming jumps around the ship. As you can see, it's not moving in a wave or anything. People are dematerializing here and there as other people watch them. And of course, Mabanga, he goes to the back of the transporter queue and the back of the pattern buffer. And they say to him, you go back to the scene. You always go back to the scene of the crime. The things Mabanga has done in that pattern buffer, the people who have been forced to suffer at his hands in the pattern buffer. Some of his worst crimes in some of these episodes involve the transporter. He deletes 200 wounded Starfleet guys while whistling and happy.
Oh,
and in this episode,
he'd be in the Space Hague by now.
This is with Slobodan Milosevic. All right, so the Enterprise. This is Spock's perspective. You see the shuttle there, and this is the high point of the special effects for the episode. And for a moment, what happens is the Enterprise sort of skitzes out. It fully disappears, and Spock's like, "Hello, hello, Enterprise, hello, Enterprise, hello, hello, sirs," and he's like. What would have been cool is if it phased out for a moment, let Ethan Peck, in this episode where you're bloating runtime, could we have let Ethan Peck do a little bit of that Peck family acting and been it has been 1.7 hours since the Enterprise has disappeared. First officer's scientific log. I've found some tachyons. I found some vernerons in the area, some sort of particles.
On real TV, they would have used this scene and then gone to commercial. And then done what you said, Admiral, coming back from commercial.
Yeah, they also would have had a shuttlecraft set to play that out in, right?
Right. But they didn't, because this is not money-making enough to put on regular television. And it's a disgrace. He could have
turned around in his green screen seat and faced us while he talked. That wouldn't have hurt.
Yeah. These are all great ideas, Admiral. They really are. And I'm not trying to just puff up your ego on that. They would have substantially improved the flow of the episode.
Throw a wall behind him like you did with Commodore Decker when you said it was just, that shuttlecraft was fitted out for special gaseous anomaly duty. Yeah. So the Enterprise, it appears to cloak, it completely disappears, and it rematerializes just like a fraction of a second later, like a beat. It was just So for Spock's perspective, it's it briefly cloaks. He has some context on this, but Okay, he has some questions, but he lands aboard the ship anyway. I guess he's unable to make contact with the ship. I forget if he can talk to them or not. Who cares? Like, the dialogue in this show is so effing painful. He gets to the ship, and it's revealed to him that everyone has been turned into a pretty low effort puppet. That's not much. This puppet's not much different from the puppet form that you can buy on Amazon. You can buy a puppet of about this size and build on Amazon with the head shaped about this way, and then you just go around customizing it. This was like a two. Sean, would I sound crazy if I said if you had a working puppet shop, this is like, I mean, you got the parts, but maybe in time and labor, this is like like 30, less than 30, like 15 man-hour build.
Admiral, what would Sean need with a puppet shop?
That's true. And I missed his.
That is not a 15 man-hour build. This is a visit to Build-A-Bear build.
Oh, no.
Jerem, you want to comment on the quality of the puppets? I know you do love this sort of animated and marionettes and the Muppets. Of course, you're a fan. So take us away, Muppet Babies versus this.
This is the lowest quality puppet I have ever seen on television. That's including the 50-year-old Sesame Street, where you can obviously see the sticks moving to hands and the mouth. This is you get better quality. I am serious. You get better quality from Build-A-Bear.
Are they fucked up because they can't be Muppets, or are they just bad?
I think they got an arrangement with the Jim Henson Company to build these on the cheap in exchange for something other than cash, because they obviously didn't have any more.
Well, the only kind of
to give them anything of quality.
When Kurtzman asked for a Build-A-Bear, he was expecting a large furry man.
I think the conversation was more like, my friend works for Harvard. Do you want to come with me to Synapse Pleasure Island? And then it was just like, well, now you owe me one. I still have those videotapes from my friend Jeffrey. And it's like, all right, I'll do your goddamn episode. He's like, no, I'll keep all the money. These people didn't even get a producer credit, and you would imagine some degree of writing of some kind fell onto them. I don't want to say they were major contributors of anything, but this episode is so slow and so bloated, and their choices of how to bloat it were so bad. And hello to the third chimpanzee. I like that. Hey, you know what? There's 12 monkeys. You got to have a third chimpanzee, right? Hey, we're the chimpanzees. Good to see.
People say we're chimping around. And
you know what? Chimpy Chimpo. Those monkey movies from old TBS were so much better than this.
In this shot, it goes quickly. You only have maybe 10 seconds where Anson Mount's puppet is over the back of the chair. But the chair looks super rough. Like they didn't really take a whole lot of care into what it looked like in any other view than from the front.
They knew that the chair looked bad. They said it was a different specific chair for the episode. I just want to say, when Germ spoke of the Muppet puppet differentiation that had to be made, one thing that I've noticed was because the hand wand is instrumental in making them into Muppets and rather than puppets, they all look at their hand and display the fact there's no wand prominently. Germ, do you think that was legally active Star Trek right there, where it was just like lawsuit avoidance 101? It's like, we've been in the pokey a couple of times with our lawyer. He hates us.
No, I don't think they had to worry about a lawsuit because they contracted the Jim Henson Company.
I think it was the Henson Company that had the lawsuit concerns from Disney. They wanted to show that there was no hand wand. They're like, they're not. Look, not a Muppet, not a Muppet.
They probably
like an easy organic way.
They probably edited the stick out of the shot.
No, I think you could have done this with conventional puppetry. Remember, they're sitting down. So
they wouldn't have
have
bothered spending the
in.
money for those kind of animatronics, though. It would have been easier just to.
I don't think it's
AI out
animatronics.
the
I think it's like levers and like dowels and levers. Honestly, right? Like maybe like one pulley. Most like I am talking about the puppet body you can buy off of Amazon has this built inside of it, right? So there is no work. It's a $40 to $80 puppet form, depending upon how hard you want to go at it. And almost all of these fell within what I saw. In fact, all of them kind of fell within what I saw. There was nothing distinguishing about any of them. So, like, one thing I thought was, with traditional puppets, they could do this with those puppets. They can hold up their hands and look at them. If you notice, they didn't articulate them or push any buttons, and they couldn't push buttons. But when they looked at their hands, that was the lawsuit avoidance moment. And I think it's because the Uhura Muppet is very close to the line legally. Germ, that Uhura puppet, do you remember it enough? The eyes were really Muppet-like.
Yeah, it was very bold, bug-eyed. That's it's just one part, but I think they're going to get away with it.
Yeah,
they will get away with it
sure.
because she had the smallest part because Cicely Love Tyson, whatever, Jennifer Love Tyson Hewitt. She has, there we go, a better puppet than you'll see in the show. We have an expert on puppets here. I did actually, like I said, guys, I reached out to Snow Dove. I'll check on that one later. So all the puppets do their legally operative looking at their hands to show, like, okay, this serves two parts in the story. One, it keeps lawyers away. And two, it gets all the Muppets to do something wordlessly for a long period of time while we fail to be immersed in their non-puppet world. What I found most ridiculous about this was Spock just buys it. That was the hardest sell.
Yeah, there's no pause to think about it whatsoever. Now, Admiral, my theory on this is
getting back on the turbo lift and closing the door and like coming back again and anything would have been. You had a chance here for actual humor. Ethan Peck is a funny enough, talented enough actor compared to the rest of these people here.
Well,
we've got this going on.
When they beamed and when he saw them, he has an open mouth, shocked in awe face.
I honestly think I saw wires hanging once or twice, Miskatonic. I don't think they even tried the sticks. They were so afraid of getting sued by Disney. They were so very afraid. I want
think
everyone
most
to
of this
understand
was
that
CGI.
Peter wrote this. I don't think so. I don't think there's the money. That's why. I really don't think there's the money, and I didn't see anything that justified it. Why not have their fingers move then? Why not do something interesting with the CGI? They didn't do anything except like maybe smooth over some of the bad puppetry, but I don't think they had enough to consistently take out a wand. A wire, maybe. A wand, no, because you have a chance of missing a wire anyway if you film it right. I'm sorry, I don't believe it. I don't believe that there was a wand there. I think it's too expensive. I think that even 1970s level ongoing CGI, like ongoing special effects coverage would not work.
All right. Well,
we just had two.
Thanks for seeing. It was great to see you.
Two people heading out, Option Trader and Power Ranger. Thank you guys for popping in.
Remember the rule: leave your device on, throw it in the corner, and go to sleep with it on. Just kidding. You would never, under terms of service, that would be wrong for me to say that. All right. So,
do you have a slide from the next scene where they're in the conference room?
To Ortegas, by the way, poor Melissa Navia hasn't been through enough that her puppet has to look even worse than she does. She is Melissa Navia attractive. They ugly her up in this role. This is the next scene. Here is Puppet to Pring.
I actually laughed at this.
See anyone looks ugly. This is the one that should be insulted.
This the worst fucking puppet.
I kind of laughed at it.
They gave it RBF, by the way.
Well, she's a Vulcan.
RBF,
they didn't have to do that.
What does it mean? Help me.
Resting bitch face.
Oh. I thought it was like some kind of medical condition. I was like, is that like TMJ? Because it looks like her jaw is locked. Like, I'm sorry, Spock, but fellatio will not be happening. It's like Spock can't even get off from his hand puppet.
Jeez.
We'll get to that.
in this scene, they're all sitting around the stupid table.
Third chimpanzee came and bought the sauce. I assume Spock bought it because dream logic. I mean, I had a dream last week. My ex-wife was a houseplant. Totally made sense at the time. I had sex and the dream was weird. Well, the sex in that dream was weird. Spock melded with the houseplant 2 weeks ago. So I mean, like, you've come to the right place, third chimpanzee. We've got truck analysis for you.
Oh yeah. In this scene, they have the stupidest scientific explanation for how everyone just turned into puppets. And I was like, why even bother? Why even bother? Just say, we don't have time to waste about how this happened. We just need to figure out how to get back or something, and go right through it with a pickup truck, you know?
Honestly,
But
there was
no.
so much bloat that they just wholesale read the AI's explanation.
Quantum
'Cause that's how it
particles
dropped, by the way. It dropped
Quantum
at the AI's
particles
explanation.
from a puppet transformed them all into puppets. And I had to go to a far, far away, cold land to find someone with an explanation similarly stupid as this. I'll just say that.
There's someone pretty stupid. There's Commodore. Oh, I forget her name. Commodore Carol.
Don't we call it Commodore 2-pack? 3-pack.
Commodore
Well,
3-pack a day.
There's we were calling the other old blonde woman who has a gravelly smoker's voice. What were we calling her?
Lady
Admiral
smokes
Six-Pack?
a lot. I don't know. I'll rewatch our coverage. Everyone should. Anyway, let's keep going with this one. I don't want to fall too far behind. We're getting into the meat of our review.
The
here.
other note in this,
In the
they're all
middle
just
of this
talking around the
episode.
room. Dr. Mbenga's voice is the best one here, because when he talks, he only has like 3 lines. It sounds like the actor needs to take a huge dump when he's in the sound booth.
Yes. And no one sounds the same. They weren't able to smooth over the different sound systems that they recorded the different actors on with anything.
Correct.
They didn't
It was
even have the same
terrible.
tools a YouTuber has to sound balance.
And then we find out that the entire ship only operates now by fingerprint recognition. Every single command, everything requires fingerprint authentication. They can't even wipe their own ass without fingerprint authentication, which is the dumbest thing I've ever seen, the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And the original TOS Enterprise had knobs, switches, buttons. You wouldn't have had this problem. But their stupid made up 1701 is all touch screens that require fingerprint authentication. So shit doesn't work.
Or at least what do you call it? The copper in your blood, copper and iron in your blood to make the connection.
Oh yeah, some kind of electrostatic
Because as we've
interaction.
seen,
Yeah.
they are no longer human in any way. Like, these are not puppet-like alien creatures. These are poltergeist-possessed puppets. They're puppets who are imbued with the spirit of the crew. It has their lack of personality. Some would say their lack of individuality, their lack of essence, so to speak, if we could put it in that
You know what
old
they
episode
didn't
of
try?
Star Trek.
They didn't try saying, computer. Hello, computer.
Wish these puppets away. This was by far the worst episode as far as the conference room. The conference room seems to be a CGI set from basic sets. This is like a basic like sci-fi backdrop or something. It really looks like shit. It looks like
It looks
doesn't
like
look like their world.
a counselor ship from a movie called Star Wars, does it not?
The design language is close
But
to Star Wars.
If this is a counselor ship, where's the ambassador?
This shot became our tile. It really says it all about the whole episode. Spock's the only one who can do anything. So everyone's like, Spock, shake my penis for me. I can't finish going to the bathroom. Spock, Spock gets henpecked. The only person who has worse luck in life and in anything is Jimmy Stewart in my favorite movie, Germ. It's a wonderful life.
Germ's muted.
Oh, yeah.
For my favorite movie, Germ.
Oh, It's a Wonderful Life, or is that Patent?
Well, second favorite movie, It's a Wonderful Life, right? Yeah, that's what we'll fix it in post and we'll sound like geniuses. So now the premise of all of this going on is while we're doing this, we have slowed the ship down below warp because there's pirates. There are pirates between Earth and Vulcan. I want to point something out. Earth and Vulcan are only 14 light years apart, and this is years after Enterprise. We have not secured one of the Federation's most potent and important allies, trade routes, and routes of communications between Earth and Vulcan. I know when I need my Trillium, I need the Earth-Vulcan pipeline and the Earth-Vulcan hyperspace corridor that they're working on under the President Clarence Boddicker bill.
Yeah,
And
it was
infrastructure
stupid.
project.
It
Yeah,
was
I
stupid.
mean, these planets are really close. You like in the real world, like in our world, like Vulcan is sort of visible from Earth.
Now, keep in mind, folks,
Wow.
there's a Federation starship 27,000 kilometers away because
Line
they
of
just
sight
tried to
is wrong.
transport to it. They don't hail it for help.
It's within line of sight in this world.
Well, Admiral April also says the nearest ship is 2 days away.
I had that in my notes, Sean.
Admiral,
No, he
But
said,
again,
I'll
this is
send
all a
ship-
dream.
I'll
Nothing's going
send
to make sense.
a ship to you ASAP.
Yeah.
More current day speak, because I guess they had to pad running time, but not enough for him to say as soon as possible. He had to say ASAP, and it's 2 days away, but yet they're closer to the next Federation starship than 1/10 the distance the Earth is to the moon. So if you're talking like if you're talking Apollo 11, the Apollo 11 craft would have reached the Enterprise faster
Yeah.
than I'm
Yeah.
so fucking dumb.
Yeah.
You
Do you
can't
guys
even-
think? Do you guys think there's a chance that Kurtzman wanted to not make this episode a dream, and he was prepared to just say, "No, this really happened"? It wouldn't surprise me.
That
make this into a
I
dream.
can almost
I
guarantee it.
have a theory. I have a theory that he was forced to make this dream
Mm.
because
Yeah.
they keep validating and revalidating it. They're definitely puppets. They keep validating and revalidating it in a threatening way. They may have been like, here's $700,000 cash and production money. Just fucking fix it. Fucking fix it. And he was like, I'll take that money.
Yeah.
I
This
think it
is
was
my
more of a
contract.
threat
They're like,
than
no, it
anything
doesn't.
else.
Just fucking film it. They
Yeah.
may have called the puppet people and said, fix it. They may have called the puppet people and or they may have called Ethan Peck and been like, you know what? Alex isn't here, but you know what? Why don't you come by? We still like you. You know, we bought Warner Brothers and you could be Batman. People are talking about this Spock as Batman, guys. So that is like one other thing that Jerm and I have kept up on. Like we do mostly try to cover the Batman stuff that's gone on since we formed our partnership. So Admiral April talks to the Pike puppet the way you would talk to a child, but Pike
Yes.
is basically like a child on his best day anyway. So the idea that he's nerfed, it doesn't really work.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter. I mean, nobody really cares about Ensign Mountain this. After they hang up with him,
Especially
Anson-
very bad actor Admiral April, who cannot do surprise or disbelief or dismay or shock or disconcert. He was flat and he just did disbelief face and spoke in the same voice he always does, but like he would to a primary school child.
they tell him lay low for 2 days. Do they go hide in a nebula? Do they go hide behind a moon? Do they go contact the other Federation starship that's basically right the fuck on top of them? No. They just sit out in the open and they don't even know how to move the ship anymore.
Most conveniently written piece of shit in Star Trek history. They don't even know there's a ship within sight. Go ahead, Jim.
I would not blame the actor on this because he doesn't know what he's seeing. They just told him, "Oh yeah, you're talking to Puppet Pike." He has no idea what that means. As far as he's concerned, he's talking to Kermit the Frog in a Starfleet costume.
Yeah.
Wasn't this the first thing they teased like 18 months ago? No, he speaks the word you. So you're a puppet. It's like,
Yeah, he
yes,
doesn't know what
sir,
that means.
I am a puppet. It felt like Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah.
A
And
puppet.
right
they
after
don't
this-
need to breathe, but they can suck in breath to talk.
And to make this
Yeah.
joke of an episode have a comedy moment, because, you know, if we already haven't been laughing nonstop the whole time, they hang up on Bob April here. And then Anson Mount gets upset and he starts
Time to get the
smashing his
manager.
hand. He starts smashing his hand on the captain's chair and it says, "Fingerprint not recognized." And he does it like 50 times in a row.
And we're forced to watch every reattempt to revalidate. It's like, God, it's like, hey, well, remember all the fun we had when we couldn't remember CAPTCHA and couldn't do it right because we're too stupid to read the instructions? Well, let's bring the audience in on that. This was like
I
as
think it
much
was a
fun as
joke.
Turbo. This was supposed to be a joke. A joke is not supposed to be as fun as TurboTax.
Well said. Well said. So then, you know, moving on, we're trying to figure out how to fix ourselves. So Connie's like, sure, why the fuck not just beam me up and beam me back? And maybe I'll hold on to this orchid and we'll turn me into like Tuvix or something. Fuck, who cares, right?
Yes. Federation, Starfleet Federation Division 12 needs to take a look at these fucking freak puppets. So the Connie puppet is all angry and aggressive, and they bring her down to the transporter room, and they're going to beam her away and back, and that's their experiment to work. She's angry and woo, and we get the most character development we've ever gotten on this like sort of like genetic regression that she's going through. Connie in this is alien, or might as well be, right? She's an augment. So she's going through some form of like weird regression where she's becoming more aggressive, and the augment qualities are starting to manifest themselves as we stay away from all the naughty words. So her augment qualities are coming out.
Well, she explains that Spock is open mouth shocked, like his mouth is agape when Connie's arm is beamed off in the transport. And there
What
you can
happens is
see
she
the
comes
stuffing.
back with the arm, but it falls off while she's ranting at him. She leaves in a rant and comes back in a rant. So she stays a woman. Doesn't gender swap you.
And she puts in there that she is overjoyed to be a puppet because she was afraid that her DNA would transform her into an augment, but somehow that's
Let's
not
just
going
say
to
her
happen as a
augment
puppet.
qualities would come out. Okay.
Now, if she was going to turn into a super puppet, they said in this episode that they're children's toys. So maybe she turns into like some kind of transformer. Like maybe she beams away as a puppet and beams back as Optimus Prime. I mean, who knows, right? That's some kind of super powerful transformer. She was afraid of that. Who knows? It's also dumb. It's also dumb. And she's like, "Have you gone and talked with your ex-fiance yet? Oh, Spock, you can't even be a good ex to your ex relationship. You need to go talk to her." To that, I would have said, "You're a puppet. Shut up. And you don't tell me what to do. I outrank you." But it didn't matter.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So she gets to bitch out her superior officer.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then
And then he
Spock
goes to get yelled at by the next woman.
another female puppet. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Spock just goes around, like, not only everyone takes advantage of her, but everyone takes advantage of him because he's the only one who can activate any system in the ship. Meanwhile, I mean, they have no needs. They have nobody. And by the way, no one could go grab like a stylus. Remember those? It's like, Ensign, in my quarters, in the drawer, next to my personal massager. Yes, Captain? There's a stylus. Old 21st century style. Grab it. Thousands of them. Give one to every crew member. I mean, Anson Mount isn't even as smart, like, as a puppet as he's even dumber as a puppet. It's the only way to put it. The joke is supposed to be that everyone's dumber as a puppet, but they're already so dumb. These writers, they think they're so clever. The way they must have sat around just filleting themselves for writing this, it makes me kind of sick because it's so low effort and terrible.
he asks her if she's happy. Why would one Vulcan ask another Vulcan if they're happy? Anyway, Spock gets more.
Not even
pings.
as aware as how do you feel?
Yeah. Yeah. And Spock starts getting henpecked again, right? And he has a panic attack. Because Vulcans have panic attacks. Apparently.
Oh, yeah, of course.
So she hits
the second
him.
mention of that. I will say I'm going to give it this. We do keep enough pretense. The AI was like, no, do not. Danger, Will Robinson. Danger, Alex Kurtzman. No, Alex Kurtzman, do not. And it's like, oh, I have to remember to have like some boundaries on what I say. Even though I could say something edgy, maybe I should say something that like won't like destroy my story. And so it's less destructive than it could have been.
The only point of this scene is to have Spock taken down a peg and then have him have a panic attack. That's all that happens here. And then she slaps him around a bunch, which I've told you shouldn't do to other people. You shouldn't hit people, folks. But she does. And then Spock has another emotion. He's grateful for it. Thank you, may I have another.
Yeah, you know what?
Kind of
At
dark.
this point, you want Spock to join No Ma'am. So here they are, our idiot crew of idiot fucking puppets, and it's the most people we've ever seen on the bridge because, hey, they're fucking puppets. This was offensively stupid. It's starting to break my brain.
Oh, I also have in my notes, Uhura is now a whiny ass bitch. Because all she does is call up Spock and act like a whiny bitch. And I'm like, I remember a character called Uhura on a show called Star Trek, who was third in command on that starship, who was like eminently qualified, disciplined under pressure, damn good looking, in charge, could sing great. No, not this character. No. But yeah, the Orion pirates advance on a Federation starship now.
We seem to have fed the Enterprise scripts into the AI as well, and Alex Kurtzman is insecure enough that he wants to sully that too. He had the Enterprise pitch on his desk, and if he would have listened to Michael Sussman, there could have been, good Star Trek. But the thing is, we're glad, honestly, in the long run, that the Star Trek United pitch survives untouched by him, because what we would have gotten was a hybridized version of it with the Alex Kurtzman vision in. And as we've seen, Alex Kurtzman brings absolutely nothing to the table as a creative, guys. Am I right?
Yeah. You're right,
Got
Admiral.
some cool conversations going on left and right in the chat. It's good to see everybody interacting. Keep it coming. And you know what? Since we Sean, is what you're doing? I like how it AI texted your hat.
Yeah.
It's like the copyright awareness tool got there and it was like, do not make. You know what? Since
Hold on, I'm going to do one for you too.
Here, I'm going to do a little bit of have a little fun and oops. Okay. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to.
Is that why
I needed to grab the screenshot, so I'm gonna. Okay. I'll send you one. Proceed.
You know what, guys? Enjoy these memberships since we have a few people here, and we'll see some of you guys around at the membership meetings. And we're bringing on board Andrew 46 too. Hector Estrada, hello, sir. Daxonar, hello. Henry Jeremiah 645, hello, and Not Brian, hello. Hey, what's going on, Not Brian? It's good to see you. Welcome to our crew. Welcome to our fleet. So at any rate, whoa, this was again a moment of badness here. They remember that Enterprise exists, and so they just come after the Orions Fortunately, Alex Kurtzman doesn't know enough about Star Trek to know that this was borrowed back from TOS, so he probably only thought he was sabotaging the other show. This does no real damage to any other Star Trek. This like Orion sequence and these like idiots being Orion.
Oh, it does.
In fact, this is
it does.
It would have been worse for their Klingons if the Klingons have already got destroyed in turn, but
well, Admiral,
it could have been worse.
These are 25% different Orions. You notice how awful the costumes are and how effeminate the man is. He should not have any hair. He should be bald. He's not. He should be far taller than he is, far stronger than he is. Whatever they're wearing, it's not Orion clothing. And the issue with her is in every other time we've seen the Orion female, they dress very minimalistic on the clothing, like this. Exactly. And instead, they pick a woman who is 58 years old. Admiral, like you said, 58 years old, not dressed like this.
Yeah, Admiral.
This is not in keeping with the Orion ways at all.
No, but at least she dressed like a 50-year-old woman by wearing a leather catsuit rather than dressing like this. She had dignity in an Orion sense. At least that part was like consistent.
But and I'm not trying to be like a pig and going after the male gaze and all that. No, the point of the Orion women,
gaze, even though we're all male straights.
The point of the Orion women was to dress in such a way that they would use pheromones in combination and act suggestive to control people.
It was a really
get
cool
their way.
Spin. It was a really cool spin put on the original lore that we found in our journey through Enterprise. It was fun. If you guys like other Star Trek, before I take down this slide and watch, we'll lose like 5 concurrents. But you know what? Like when I take down this slide, before I take it down, I'll give you a minute to appreciate. One, the Orion girls are all really beautiful, but the one in front, the primary scheming Orion girl, this is from the Enterprise episode Bound. It's from season 4. Great episode. One of the only standalones that season. That's Goldacott's daughter from Deep Space Nine. The primary Orion girl in this episode is Goldacott's daughter from Deep Space Nine. Correct.
Oh,
she's
the
all
one that was in love with Garrick for some reason.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you be in love with Leslie Swab Garrick? So you know what? I'll keep that. I'll keep this tile on the side whenever we talk about the Orions.
But instead, we get this. And I'm not trying to, whatever. A 58-year-old woman fully covered up is not who you cast to be the Orion woman. It's not. It's just not. Also,
you have enough older
scenes,
women cast in this throughout, marbled through. You've got Rebecca Romaine is 51 and looks 85.
Also, in some scenes, she has purple hair. In another scene, she doesn't. So they didn't even get that right. That is shoddy and lazy, and they didn't care. They didn't go back and watch their own show, or they thought no one would notice.
I heard a pop.
You heard a pop?
Yes. Sounds like we may in fact have a visitor.
Oh.
Welcome to FH. It is Mark D with a C. So,
it's the Count.
And the Count. Hold on, let's embiggen the Count.
Taking advantage of the Enterprise there.
One. Two Enterprises. Mark, what's going on? Welcome to our episode section of Strange New Worlds. We have quite the crowd, and we're just kind of galloping along. So we've made it to about 75% of the way through this brilliant episode.
Oh,
and
geez.
guys, these puppets don't move so great that you need to see them up close and personal. But how you doing, Mark? Welcome to the show.
He may be getting set up still.
One Mark D.
You may not know we put him on stage. Then I'm going to
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll just.
I did want to get his opinion of the 25% different Orion, but hey.
You know what? While we do that, we could just keep bounding forward. The Carol Kane puppet comes to the bridge, and she's so annoying that the female Orion pirate is going to do a couple of things. But first, one of the things that was most consistently annoying about this episode was Spock, as the only human, goes to deal with the limited amount of Orions, and T'Pring is now, throughout this whole episode, has been a tactical genius. She's a tactical genius. She's like, Spock, double gun it with the 2 hand phasers, because she's brought a few with her. And she's just like, I came to help you. I wanted you to, be successful, because I figured that, analyzing Orion tactics, if they attack here, like, the most logical thing is that they'll probably, it would be a distraction. They'll try something else. They're Orions. I've studied their tactics. And, okay. Sean, can you beam Mark up? And the thing that was funny was her analysis of the tactics was dead on. And, like, he's the military guy.
Admiral, real
Can you hear me now?
We can hear.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I boomered it. It was a transporter accident. My mic was off, but I was saying Kurtzman's, but you were watching my streams, you bastard, Kurtzman, because I've had the count on the Enterprise for a long time. I hailed everyone in the chat, and as I said before you couldn't hear me, but I've only watched a few minutes of this Garbaggio. I just can't believe what the hell is going on. I mean, just obscene.
The monster who started it all, Dr. Julius von Swinepork. Well, he will answer for his crimes.
Right before the Orion's board, and while they're boarding, Admiral, there's some great lines, some great Star Trek lines. It's like Shakespeare getting written here. Connie,
her tactical assessment was correct, and her tactical counter plan was good. Just the idiot Spock didn't act on it fast enough. And when the Orions show up, he's like, Orions, oh no. And they're like, oh, fuck you. Womp. Like, that's basically how fast it goes down.
Well, his puppet X has like 5 phasers in her hands, and he only takes 1. He looks, and there's 6 Orions. So what does he do? He slowly raises the phaser, takes out 1, and then stands there and waits for the CGI artist to animate a phaser blast back at him.
He was no coward. He stood in there and waited. He didn't, you know what? He was like, Alexander Hamilton needed a minute and a half to reload his pistol. I should wait that long, too. It was only these chivalrous. The Chilean entity taught this to me. So the single female Orion, older woman on the make, and like they cake on the green paint in a way that is reminiscent of the Kenobi show. She looks like Hera from Kenobi.
In this scene, she has purple hair as well.
Spock is bound.
Not by the Boy Scouts, because you could wiggle right out of this.
I don't know what the hell they were doing, holding in place the Force, but yeah, so Spock has the longest, most boring conversation. We have the longest, most boring conversations, and I guess he's not going to help him out, is basically what it comes down to. They talk about some trash or some such, but Spock's not going to help. Like, the AI was like, no, do not let Spock help, and Kurtzman's like, damn, I thought I had a great idea there. So he was like, it was like lore violation. It was like, oh no, damn, fuckering succotash. I mean, I think Alex Kurtzman was so angry he broke a nail. Asked his wife permission before he threw his typewriter across the room.
Yeah.
So here come our Orions. They wear black leather jackets because everybody wears black leather jackets. Alex Kurtzman's hung up on second year in college getting high in his dorm room.
Yeah, then they're up here on the bridge.
Multiple Miss Piggy incidents then ensue.
Yeah, it's so funny.
It's funny, not the way they intended it. What we're saying is it's funny that they thought that they could get away with this. I'm sure like the Way to Eden landed kind of similarly to serious Star Trek fans at the time, but there was a sci-fi story in there. This was a story of like, once the story is once we're done with the story and we have it cremated and its ashes are scattered across the previous eons of, even worse episodes.
Admiral.
We're going to forget about it. This was my favorite part. I thought that the Carol Kane puppet was dead, but what she did was she had to get killed to prove that they were immortal. No one's noticed that they haven't drawn breath. No one's noticed that they don't have to pee.
Admiral, you got the wrong shot. I absolutely loved the Orion captain from nowhere took out a Spirit Halloween plastic sword.
She did take, that's how the Commodore got cut in half.
Yeah. It was a Spirit Halloween sword. I shit you not, ladies and
It
gentlemen.
was so terrible. Sorry, guys. I missed a bad prop. I still made like 40 slides of this 41-minute episode that sucked. I'm sorry, 55-minute episode that sucked. So here's Pike. They saw Salem's Lot. That's what went through my mind. Or that they want us to meme this. I'll take your comments down for a moment so that you can get a clean screenshot of this. I think what they're doing is calling everybody out to meme this into William Shatner looking out the window of the airplane. Does anyone else think I'm right on that one?
Yep. Oh, I saw that shot. Yeah. Getting back to Carol Kane, I think they have to put subtitles on the screen whenever she speaks. I was watching a clip in this episode and I listened to it like 3 times and still couldn't understand what she said. I mean, it's ridiculous.
I couldn't understand her or Scotty, and I just wrote it off. I'm like, fuck them. It's a show.
Not rewinding again.
What I said to, I had to watch enough of it. And then when I rewatched, when I made the slideshow, I still couldn't understand. I'm going to say right now, if you're making a show for an American audience and I as an American can't understand your actors and it's not intentional, fuck you. It's not me. Go fuck yourselves.
No.
All right. So,
real quick.
You're failing to serve your audience if your audience is America. Go ahead, JT.
Logically, I'm thinking they made them all into puppets by beaming a puppet up into the transporter. Couldn't they just take a spider and beam up a spider and turn the entire crew into Peter Parker?
I think it's because Kurtzman's insisted that spiders only go up water spouts.
No, but I'm like, we could have just created a whole ship full of Spider-Mans by the way that this whole thing worked.
Alex
which would have
Kurtzman
been
is still traumatized
awesome.
about not getting to create Spider-Gwen and kill Spider-Man in the second movie when they're just like, you know what, just finish the movie in your Audi and take your weirdo geriatric dating Spider-Man with you. Tom Holland and Demi Moore. So
they could have beamed up a
when
Scorpion.
Tom Holland was being
we could have had
born,
Scorpion.
me and Demi, I was going to see an older Demi Moore as like a 15-year-old when she was in Seventh Sign. All right. And St. Elmo's Fire. Her boyfriend's being born when she was engaged to Emilio Estevez. All right, I'm sorry.
We could have beamed up a scary puppet and had them all turn into the Baba Yaga into John Wick. I mean, we could have had a lot better time with this transporter logic, but we didn't. Anyway,
your comments back on screen. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry that I made you watch this. I'm a shitty friend. All right. So the puppets realize that their power is being puppets, and they must embrace their inner puppet to puppetize their way out of this situation. And it was a disengaging and disinteresting take on how they can take over the ship and depuppetize themselves. So the bridge failure was the Pike puppet had no fingerprints. The Orion interlude, the accidental Tubin style exposure. I forgot to tell you, the only reason the Orions knew they could take over was because they turned on the view screen and Tubin themselves to the Orions. They have a Tubin slip where they turn on the view screen, and they're revealed to be puppets. Like the Orions show up because of that. Then the plot really starts to decay quickly. The puppets are contemptuous of the organics. The puppet to Pring is especially hostile. We miss the real actress because she's hot, and we get a fucking puppet of her and just her being a bitch. There's Miss Piggy attacks by Una and Lon. Carol Kane blurts out they have semi-immortality, and Ortegas excuses all this by saying out loud that, well, we're puppets. It's kind of baked in that what we have to do to solve this would be preposterous. As though that hand wave would solve it. That was the most insulting and lowest moment of Star Trek ever when the Ortega's puppet said that. I think that's what she's saying here. It's horrible.
Well,
So JT, continue, sir.
Admiral, I don't know if you have the airlock scene.
Oh, I absolutely do.
Yeah, so they're all in here.
From Event Horizon. This is Pike giving them his football coach speech. I guess I could take it down for a moment because the larger picture is there. Oops, sorry. I mean, hey, enjoy it for a moment. Pike gives them his remember the Titan speech about how they have to go out and do do this as puppets and embrace their puppetness. And I guess that was an identity politics moment. But the thing that I thought was really weird about it was Pike has been cucked and been a terrible leader in every single episode and deferred to his female crew and literally been carried on the shoulders of women as this puppet is now. And this is the episode they decide he gets to be a strong leadership type.
Standing on the shoulders of women.
Did I miss a super chat?
The dead man.
The dead man. I'm sorry, sir. Did you know?
Oh, I'm sorry. I missed that.
Sorry, guys. We were a little caught up. Let's go get the dead man.
Admiral Teag, incoming super chat.
Sean, I told you to shoot all super chats down as soon as I came to the edge of the parameter. Those were my honors,
I'm
mister.
sorry. I had another screen on. It didn't pop up. My apologies.
Your agonizer, please.
Sean forgot to bring his bias to the bridge. Bring your prejudice to the bridge. That makes you who you are.
I'm sorry, dead man.
The dead man, we apologize. Don't you know that women made Spock who he is?
Yeah.
Which one?
He did have a great mom,
three, right?
I want to say that
he's got 3, right? Isn't Spock's body count 3 in so far in as many seasons?
I think so, but I do want to say I want to praise Mia Kirshner for playing Spock's mom. Her portrayal gives a certain standout gravitas, shall we say. There's a certain groundedness, like huge tracts of land kind of groundedness to what we see when we see Mia Kirshner, who plays Amanda Grayson. Absolutely beautiful actress. I wish we could have seen her. Hey, Read by Nature, good to see you too. I'm sorry, Mr. Super Chat, but yeah, women made Spock who he is. His mom helps him lie, cheat, and connive in season 2. It's absolutely disgraceful.
Yeah. Now, Admiral, I think we're trying to get here closer to where the plot's moving along here. Do you have the airlock scene up on queue yet, by chance?
I will have it in a moment.
Sure. So, folks, what ends up happening after they do a bunch of this we're puppets nonsense, there's a whole bunch of dialogue that we're just going to skip because it's stupid and dumb and just fills up time. There is a point at which the Orion captain demands the codes, the security codes to the starship.
Prefix
and Spock
codes?
says, yeah, the prefix codes. And Spock says, no, I'm not going to do that. And I'm the only one that can do it for you because everybody else is puppets. And she's like, oh, yeah, I know this. I know this. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab Anson Mount, the puppet, and we're going to put him in the airlock. And once we do that, I'm going to threaten you again, and then I'm going to decompress the airlock. So I don't know if you have this, but this is probably one of the most insulting things they've done so far. Oh, this is too far ahead.
I may have missed the airlock scene.
Okay,
Where we put
so
Spock in the airlock.
what ends up happening is Anson Mount is in the airlock, and he puts up his puppet hand and tries to do the Idic thing, the hand, and Spock puts his up to the window, and they say the line from the Wrath of Khan.
Oh, Jesus, God. Sorry for interrupting, but that's making me pretty pissed off.
Yeah. At that point, I said, fuck you, Alex Kurtzman, out loud in a house by myself with nobody else to hear me but the cat. That insulted the hell out of me. How dare you take one of the most intimate meaningful moments in all of Star Trek and just do that. So that's how they blow him out into space. Then he realizes he's not dead because he's a puppet and he doesn't need to breathe. They get him back into the ship. He does this thing that you see on screen.
More puppets in space. Where are my puppets in space?
That's at the end scene.
Yeah, that one right there. That's how he gets out into space. He gets back in the ship. We don't know how.
Oh,
must have
what you're
little
talking
rockets
about
on
is
him.
I didn't. Yeah, right. The puppet can fart. I didn't take a lot of screenshots of it. For about 4 minutes, the Pike puppet regards the universe and has an outer body experience. It's really beautiful to the Pike.
Yeah, he
puppet.
gets shot out of the ship, and obviously momentum would have carried him, but he somehow Princess Leia's his way
back to the ship.
Yeah.
In Spock,
He's
open
a
mouth.
princess too.
Spock has another open mouth, shock and disbelief face when that happens. Then when he comes back in, he says on his Rocky speech that he's no longer a Starfleet captain. He's a puppet captain. Whatever the fuck that meant.
What does that mean?
Yeah, I thought it was so weird that he got his Picard speech moment as a puppet.
I think that
This
what
is
they meant is
only
they're used to having
leadership
hands
moment.
up their ass.
But this was an only leader. Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, this and heads. This was the first time that Anson Mount had a leadership moment in the run of this show.
Yeah. When they're talking about
Go ahead.
Did we lose you?
sorry, my audio
JT?
dropped.
Did
for
you
a
turn
second
into a
there.
puppet on us? Oh my god!
No,
We heard
no,
like
no,
a
no,
moment
no.
of like country music there too for a second. It was like,
No, I had an alarm go off.
oh, okay.
It's nothing major. So basically,
Okay,
what then
cool.
happened
Right,
here
sorry.
was at 38 minutes, they're planning how they're going to take back everything, and T'Pring's like, enough of these motherfracking space snakes on this motherfracking space plane.
Yeah, and just
they're
starts
like-
screaming.
No,
They're like, no, and she screams like she had a once in a 7-year orgasm, and then Pike says, "Whoa, that was an emo explosion." I'm like,
Yeah, I was like, what?
What is this? What am I watching? So then you have the not to say an offensive term, but the 3 midgets in a suit trope that the Admiral has in the background. That's what you see. And the Orion guy stands there and he waits for them to open it. And then he waits for the CGI to come out and attack him. And Connie does a Team America World Police run up on the wall and do like this weird leg maneuver, like they're one of the puppets from Team America, and then just like kicks him.
And what we
now
have to say here is,
remember, folks, when they were punching the Orions on the bridge, nothing was happening because they're fluff, and it wasn't.
And-
they were just like, "What are you doing to me?" But now they can kick them across the room.
They
the
no
other
longer.
thing is this, this makes this bails out the Battle of Endor for all time. Let's just get that straight. But the thing
with
that-
the Ewoks.
this bails out the Battle of Endor for all time. I mean, the Battle of Endor was Gettysburg by comparison. One of the things I thought was ridiculous was T'Pring continues to be the tactical brains, and I thought, like, did the AI get a hold of like the deadly years here? Because I watched that one recently and I saw Nick Weiser reviewing it earlier, and I was thinking, it's like, as they got older, their minds were aging faster than their bodies. Like, were their brains turning to cotton faster than their bodies? Is that why everyone was so fucking stupid? Like, even stupider than usual? Like, part of the puppet disorder is you get even dumber. I would have had the crew of the other ship relieve them until they were turned back into humans, maybe, before I let them like have it. Like, yeah, I just like what a mighty statement for the Starfleet hiring practices that we have. Like, Black Admiral man lets our most powerful ship go with a crew of entirely puppets.
I would have just, if I were Spock, I would have said computer initiate self-destruct sequence at this point. Like, there's no coming back from this.
You don't think it get worse?
We're just going to do
Hello,
Starfleet a favor, you know.
God, this is stupid.
This was the dumbest. And then the Orion, of course, the violence has consequences for mostly just for the male puppets. But the Orion captain sort of has a few words. But this was, we'll just talk for a moment about the Uhura puppet. Because remember, she's not a Muppet. The non-Muppet puppet of Uhura, her eyes are so dangerously close that I'm saying this is why the puppets looked at their hands. Some of these puppets break the rules that make them non-Muppet puppets. Some of them are. This is the Uhura one's a fucking Muppet.
Yeah. They also made the face
It's a terrible
on Connie.
fucking Muppet.
They also made the face on Connie really chubby, which I thought was pretty mean.
Yeah.
But they did. There was a scene that we missed, and it was unironically pretty funny because they wanted Nurse Chapel to be empowering, and they didn't want Dr. Mbenga to sew anybody back together. They wanted her to do the surgery.
I'm surprised
not the
they
doctor.
showed her with a sewing kit, to be honest.
It was unironically super funny that the man let the woman do the sewing, because I'm like, out of wall-to-wall feminism here, they tried her up.
That was very misogynistic of them to have Chapel do the sewing.
Yeah, like I just want to say,
100%.
like at this point, something that had become apparent early on in the episode was true. They are unacknowledgedly going by Roger Rabbit logic, where they can only win a fight or get any gain when it was funny. And I was like, so they should have just been stuck forever, because this was never funny. They didn't hire comedians or physical actors or anything like that to do this. I was like starting to wonder if Sarah Silverman had reprised her role. The Orion captain was so flat and her voice was so bad. Her voice was so bad. I'm like, did they bring back? And I'm like, it's like, oh, the boobs are too small. But so Attack of the fucking Puppets. The voice was just as bad. And if you're going to deal with the voice, you might as well get the boobs. But so the Orion captain bitches out Spock. I forget how we finally got the Orions off the ship. Did we crush them?
They decompressed they took the air out of the bridge.
Oh, because puppets don't need to breathe. Okay, so listen,
which
Spock
was actually that was actually probably the most clever thing they did in this episode was the way that
AI found that. The AI found that.
Yeah, you had a clip of it right before they went on this mission. They tried one more thing to get the codes. And so they did an enhanced interrogation scene where the guy takes the little flame, the little butane torch that you use to make certain mixed drinks, and he lights the
cigar lighter.
It was on CGI
literally
fire.
A cigar lighter.
He lit her on CGI fire.
Me, cigar face. I thought I showed that. I thought
and
I captured her.
They somehow counter it. And then they light the Orion guy on CGI fire. And let me tell you, I have never seen a costume as flammable as this. Like, she just barely touches it with that butane lighter. And then so much CGI fire goes all over the place.
It was the worst CGI fire. And then that guy passes out while he's on fire, and they don't put him out.
And he didn't see the sink full of water right in front of him. Because she puts her hand out and he didn't see it. It was right there.
Yeah.
You know, he's an Orion male, so.
Well, that's true.
Females of every species across the Federation are smarter, stronger, more tactically inclined, and of course, just better at everything than the males.
And the Orion has a convincing conversation to Spock about how you should just let women tell you what to do and just do whatever they say and don't question it. And Spock was like, "Oh, okay. I'll do that." I'm not joking, folks.
Pike. I mean,
I'm not joking.
Just the whole episode. here's all the women figuring it out together, just like in regular episodes of Strange New Worlds, while Pike makes his dumb speech. They're just like, can the female puppets roll their eyes? And they're like, we don't have that right. We're not allowed to make the puppet's eyes articulated.
During
here it is, JT.
Sorry?
Here it is. Here's your moment.
Oh, yeah, right there. Right there. Yeah, the fake CGI fire. I mean, it didn't fool
with the butane
anyone.
lighter. They went down to the cigar store and got that thing.
Scotty caught fake fire like 3 times too.
Yeah.
Can you get high on Muppet gas?
I don't know, but why didn't she just erupt into a ball? Like, if you ever put a lighter like to a sock with all the little felt fuzzies, it would have poofed. She would have poofed up.
And why is she the only Muppet that feels pain?
She doesn't. She says she doesn't.
No, later on she says it hurt. It hurt her.
Oh.
Why am I remembering these details?
I don't care. She also uses the burnt hand
Manchurian
mark.
Candidate Sean, you're going to go down tomorrow and like join like a trans visibility like ally group.
She also
that's Kurtzman's plan.
She also was like, we ran out of time in the show and the plot, and I have to fix your mental illness, so I'm going to take my charred puppet hand and just put it on your face and do a real quick mind meld.
Was the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
During the final fight scene on the bridge, there's a 5-second thing where Pike picks up one of the puppets and throws it, but it's clearly a CGI puppet, and the way he throws it is the most artificial. Like, he doesn't actually have anything in his hand at all, and they just put the puppet in post. It was terrible.
Yeah, and when the murderer puppet jumps across the room, it's clearly it's CGI, but it's really low level. Like, it jumps in slow motion, like Matrix style. Like, we'll make it seem like it's part of the joke. Don't worry.
They have strength and weight like Chucky dolls in the final battle.
So these idiot fucking marionettes, whatever, they put off leaving so that they can go drift out in space. And
the rest of the crew was reverted, except for them.
What I thought was crazy was Rebecca, Iceberg, Romaine, whatever, lettuce head of lettuce says to Spock, there's something I've always wanted to do, to which I remembered, didn't you walk across the hall in season 1 and sign your name, or show Connie where to sign her name?
That was last season.
No, that was 2 seasons ago, I think, where they walk across the hall and do the Enterprise.
Was it? I remember seeing it. I think
it's season 3. Season 2.
I think it was last season.
This is now. We're in season 4. Last season was the one that had the hating on Roddenberry. They did go outside the ship last season, but this was a different.
They took a cadet, the cadets wanted to go out there and do it or something.
Yeah.
They may have alluded to it.
Can you go back one slide?
I would never buy that cheap furniture, by the way.
Back into space. Could you go back one slide?
Well, they went to space IKEA.
Or two. This one here. Okay, so folks, the rest of the crew is transformed back.
How?
Except for this, there was an easy way. There was an easy reset button that they pressed, and then it just worked. Mark.
Oh, they did a reset, like the Staples easy button?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So the rest of the crew's all reverted back, but the entire senior staff selfishly doesn't want to go back so they can float out in space for a while. They're pushing each other, shoving each other, but they can slow down and stop.
And it's beautiful to them.
They can
Princess Leia.
Yeah, and they can talk to each other in a vacuum. In the
well, sound does travel in this universe in space.
They screwed up their own lore. It's unfortunately
they were able to talk without drawing breath anyway. So
yeah, this cut doesn't show it, but the Commodore, they messed up their own lore. Instead of having the headmaster from Starfleet Academy have no shoes on, they forgot that it was the same old blonde woman with the smoker's voice, and the puppet in space didn't have shoes on for her.
The puppet threw its shoes.
She didn't have them on the whole episode.
Orion She threw them at the Orion captain.
But
Oh, that's right. Yeah, there was a scene in the
you
ship
put
where
them
she was
back on.
without feet.
you put them back on. They
Not
messed.
if you're an old gross ex-hippie like Carol Kane's puppet.
I will say this: at least
Franchise.
they kept that continuity within the show. I mean, at least they did that. They remembered. Oh yeah, she didn't have her shoes off.
I'm glad the dead man didn't
Let's
duck
keep
out and he
them
got to hear us apologize for being late in the super chat. Our sensors are down, and you know what? Like, quite frankly, we're a little out of practice. Ever since the wave of changes swept through YouTube, a lot of people are just afraid that the channel's going to away tomorrow or YouTube's going to change tomorrow. I can't say that I can guarantee that everything will always be okay for everybody everywhere, but like, I do stay pretty far ahead of things on compliance, and Mark's pretty smart too. And we keep our heads together. And if you've noticed, this channel has been cranking out very compliant friendly stuff. Non-Star Trek essays, lots of shorts, the things that YouTube likes. So don't worry about us. We're going to be here for a while. They're going to have to work a lot harder. As long as you can find us, we're going to stay compliant and we're going to get our hours because you know what? We're here for you for this Strange New World experience, which, let's face it, it was probably outright damaging. And I should get a brain scan after watching this. And then Spock doubles back to talk to the puppet who cucks him again, and he gets dumped for either the third or fourth time of the episode. And either the fourth time or the ongoing revalidation of the first dumping by T'Pring, who just can't stop dumping Spock. This was Spock got dumped so much, it was like a point of view episode from one of the guys in Sex and the City, just working his way through all four of them. It's like it would be like an episode of 24. The following takes place between 8 and 9 p.m.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but we do get a scene where they start initiating the little intimacy here. So he screws puppet T'Pring.
Yeah, he's got cloth on his penay. And there they are as T'Pring and Spock make sweet puppet love. What the hell they're trying to say by that, I don't know. This is weird. They're like, we're going to out-weird the puppet sex from Team America.
Oh, God.
We're going to out-weird
They sure
it.
wanted to, didn't they?
Oh, I'm sure Kurtzman had him shoot that scene for his own personal collection.
How much worse stuff did they pay him to take out of this long bloated episode that just went on forever? So like, it was like 85 minutes. He's like, I'll show it if you don't give me 5. We don't know what happened, but this is horrible. And then for one fleeting moment after all this horror, we get to see the beautiful actress who plays T'Pring. She's wearing a suit of armor, as always, with every beautiful woman on this show.
Yeah. How dare you have an attractive woman on the show?
Yeah, I mean, it's Greta Thunberg syndrome. What can I tell you?
Don't bullshit me.
What can I tell you?
How dare you?
Thank
there
you.
we go.
How dare you?
Hey, Harrison, calm down. You don't have to top everyone. He heard Greta Thunberg and he had to jump in there and compete. So whatever, like real T'Pring sort of re-dump Spock, and he's left to ponder this like the idiot that he is. But honestly, like I don't have a lot of hate for this actor. I've thought that he's been a good sport through this whole botched run. They didn't know what they were getting into. This show started 8 years ago. It was supposed to be over 3 years ago at this point. They only had like a 4-year contract. Alex Kurtzman cut his production time in half and has had these poor people trapped in contracts. So like they're giving their all just to keep their careers alive and not get in trouble and, you know, be professional about it. So I have some empathy for the cast, but one thing that I thought was really strange is Ethan Peck, you know, the way he was forced to go through this. There were a couple of times where he was only speaking words. Like he couldn't believe how stupid it was. He was trying.
Yeah.
He was trying, but I haven't, even in the singing episode, he threw himself into it and he did a decent job.
Folks, if you weren't here at the beginning when we kind of already just flat out said it before we even got into the Muppets, this whole episode ends by Spock waking up and the whole thing was a dream. Just like JJ and Alex Kurtzman's Lost, this whole episode was an FU. The whole damn thing was an FU.
Well, thankfully, we didn't have to suffer through multiple seasons of it.
No,
one episode was quite enough.
As Spock stands here pondering, we get to step away. And it was the end of the dumbest episode of Star Trek we ever saw. I think you guys have earned this. You deserve it. Thanks to everyone who's hanging in there. We have a great bunch of Star Trek fans out there. So what we're going to do now is we're going to rate this episode. We just watched episode 5. We just watched episode 5 of Strange New Worlds, and we're going to try to rate it. But you know what? Let's just put this up on screen for a moment. I started this episode a while ago, and when we did so, we started this episode by asking you, the audience, a question. We had a poll. Sorry, ladies. We started this episode by asking you, the audience, a question. It was, is this the worst episode of anything called Star Trek ever? Sirs, yes, 57%. Oh my God, it's not even close. And this was a brisk poll, one of the highest vote-getting polls of all time. 35 votes. Sirs, we've seen worse, 14%. And I want to thank all of you wonderful people who interacted in the poll. I mean, this is absolutely a slam dunk. I mean, if you want to vote, keep voting and, take it away right now. What we'll do is I'll just go around the horn and I'll let my pundits and panel members speak for themselves. We have the greatest panelists on the final frontier here. So let's start with the last shall be first with Mark. What the hell happened? What the hell did we just watch, Mark?
I have no freaking idea what we just watched. Now, true confession, I haven't watched the whole thing, so I don't know if I get a punishment for that. I got to watch it over and over. But Newhart did it much better, right? The whole thing being a freaking dream, I guess, is the only way you could explain this load of puppetry crap. But it's just, I mean, if Star Trek was firing on,
say that, yeah. By the way, guys, it turns out the AI remembered it was just a dream. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, Newhart did that much better. Obviously,
I called that the high point of the episode that they brought this back, and Newhart with the wraparound to the original series of the show was classic. Much better. Yeah.
Yes, I mean, if Star Trek is firing on all cylinders, once in a while we get our Spock brain, episode, and I kind of like watching Spock's brain now. I have to confess, it's still bad, but it's fun watchable because it's so silly in some spots, and we get the brain is brain. What is
this show?
Yeah, I'm gonna eventually watch this load of turd, but Miss Piggy is very insulted. And so was the count that Kurtzman would try to do this. I guess the puppets did, a lot of the times the puppets did look good, but if Star Trek was an A++er right now, and then they did an off crazy episode like this, and maybe if you kind of knew that Spock was knocked out or hallucinating, you maybe could forgive it a little bit, but what the hell are they thinking? Of course, we know they're not thinking much, and it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse, and oh my God, ridiculous. I mean, you can't do this unless your show is, really, really great. And then all right, let's have a fun off the wall little thing. And just don't try to even trick the viewers with this stupid thing. Just know, if you knew that Spock was hallucinating all the time, or an accident, a holodeck accident where they, well, we know we're really human, but we're in the holodeck. We're stuck as Muppets.
Holodeck, and maybe then the safety protocols get turned off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you could do stuff like that, but just real embarrassment. And a lot of good actors are wasted, unfortunately, in this show because of the terrible writing.
Oh, I thought you meant
terrible.
They started drinking when they saw the script. I was like, I would be wasted too.
Well, that way too, yeah.
The bottles on that bar set were a little empty.
Pigs in Space was the original name of this broadcast. I was calling it that for a while. I'm like, it'll just confuse people on searches later on. Let's just be real about it. You know what? If you take it back right now about the puppets, you won't have to meet Germ later for Ambu Jitsu, the ultimate incarnation of martial arts, because he was strongly opposed to these puppets.
Yeah, and I have to say I did drive by Citi Field tonight in the pouring rain. My God, what a rainstorm we had! I don't know. I should have stopped by. Well, but you would have had to host two grandmothers and my wife too. But my daughter's leaving for a semester abroad, so we had a little bon voyage to her. That my French sounded pretty good. That I got to practice that in Paris, but yeah, and so we had a little going away party. We were she's going in a couple of days, but we said let's go grab dinner. We just had really good pizza, some really good pizza. And, it was good stuff. So I was driving by, I was thinking I was waving. I was driving by Citi Field, but wow, what a rainstorm we had tonight, man! It was a tough drive home.
Maybe I'll see you at Wrath of Khan.
Yeah, I definitely want to see Wrath of Khan. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah,
right? It might be playing closer to you, but it's a thought.
Yeah, pretty awesome. Yep.
We'll talk about that before we go.
Yeah.
We asked you, the audience, a question, and like you saw, sirs, yes is 57%. It's the worst Star Trek ever. Mark just gave his opinion. Let's go with Resolute Germ. Germ, what was your opinion? Tell us how you feel, sir.
At this point, I'm just glad no one broke out into song.
Yeah.
We thought that was going to happen. We did think that was going to happen. We were.
I was sure
we did.
Pike was going to sing it.
You know what? You're right. You were right to be concerned, and you're right that Pike was probably ready to break out into song. So the Pike puppet looked like it was ready to go. I mean, I can't disagree with you on that one. This is a failure in every way. Would you like to kick it while it's down, or give it one word of but what crystallizes your anger or your feelings about this?
Jim Henson is spinning in his grave that his family agreed to do this. I don't know why they agreed to do this. Kurtzman must have something over him, but this was insulting to puppetry, the Muppets, Jim Henson, the entire family, and Star Trek as a whole. This is the worst it has ever been. I don't see how any of the other episodes are going to get worse than this, but I know somehow they're going to pull it out of their ass.
Yep.
You're right.
And you're a pretty big fan of the Jim Henson productions, right, Jerm? So you would say that this probably actually maybe upset you more than the entire rest of the panel because of that this week?
This is the worst live action Trek has ever insulted pretty much anything.
Wow, Germ, not being ambiguous about this or beating around the bush. All right, JT Kirk.
Admiral Teag,
you know what? You get to
incoming
go
super
next.
chat.
Oh, hey, guys, I'm a little bit ahead of the game this time. Thank you, Sean. Much better. Hey, Dead Man, thank you so much. $1.99 super chat. Greenlandian Greenbacks. See, I'm out of practice. The Dead Man with $1.99 Greenlandian Greenback super chat says Spock's brain had Shatner and Kelly. Yeah, and even Nimoy in the zombified role. Zombie Leonard Nimoy would have been better than anything in this episode. Ethan Pack, who has been just absolutely a trooper through this whole thing and has never let the mask slip. For it to slip twice in one episode, I mean, this was their probably, I think I agree with the audience, but you can keep voting for a little while longer. Wow. I can't believe it. So, who's next? Was it JT?
Yeah, I think you would call on me, Admiral. So again, this is another episode where the writing is just terrible. If you were some of the best writers out there in Hollywood, you would still struggle to do a gimmick episode and do it well 5 weeks in a row. They're so bad. I want to say the Rockies are probably better than them right now. If they were a baseball team, I mean, this is.
But they're not as good as the Mets. They're not as good as the Mets.
Yeah, this is the problem. They're not good at writing, period. And so they just strike out, and they struck out a 5th week in a row. They write what they know, which is being terrible in relationships, as done by the chalk outline as the end of the Spock Connie relationship. They write toxic women in everything that they know, but they write radical feminism in everything that they know. And they put that in every single episode as like the moral lesson, which isn't even a good lesson in anything. And instead of getting a Star Trek moral or an ethical dilemma or anything that you would say, this is why we made a Star Trek episode to talk about this complex issue, we just get radical feminism thrown into a gimmick. And that's what we got this week. And look, if feminism is your thing, there are plenty of TV shows out there. There's plenty of media out there. It's just Star Trek was never the point of Star Trek since it was made. And if you do one episode on it, sure. 2 episodes on it, okay. But to make an entire show about that ruins it. It just ruins it. And so I could go on, and we went into a lot of it about all of the issues with continuity and all of the plot holes that are, 5 light years wide. At the end of the day, you could forgive some of that if it was, Who Watches the Watchers or The Best of Both Worlds or, insert half of the TOS episodes. But they're so far away. They're not even close. And I don't know what frame of reference I would have to be in to ever enjoy one of these episodes. And this one just really did it for me. You have to ask yourself, is this worse or better than the musical episode? Which one would you rather watch? I'd rather rewatch the musical. So this is the worst episode to me of Strange New Worlds that they've ever made. And I'm not just saying that because it's the worst one since last week. This is below the musical episode.
I got to think about that for a second. Hold on.
Sir, steam is better.
Sir, honestly, the dogs are better.
Sir, I have the man. Sir, my name is Raisin. $1 billion, sir. $1.1 billion, sir. Sir, he has a cold. Don't shake his head. Sir. Sir.
Did anyone watch Neutronic today? He has Trump clips now.
Well, he's learning from the
Major
best.
Admiral Teag, welcome to the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm sure he doesn't know who the hell I am, but that one time he liked my tweet, like 15 people joined my channel. Like he waves his hand, and like people just like the amount of power he has. Like he could tank a movie, or in the case of the Spider-Man movie, push people off the fence enough to probably make it maybe not successful, but glaze it up a little more, because that movie was going to do well anyway with the normies. But back to this. Okay, JT, do you feel like you've got it all off your chest, sir? Are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
Thank
Sean.
you.
I have suggested to everyone in the panel that they did this. Sean, do you have some breakables nearby? I know that I go to local garage sales and buy plates that I can throw up against the wall when I watch the episodes so that I can get it right out of my system. So we've got a Snowdub Lake entry here.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us, Sir Kermit, sir, what was it like?
Well, I have a message for Mr. Kurtzman. It's now look, listen here, you fucking bastard. I just sat through that goddamn Star Trek Muppet episode, and I am pissed. What the hell was that? You take the Muppets, my family, my life's work, and shove some health-ass starship nonsense like we were some disposable green fucking screen props. What the fuck? Yeah, that's all I have to say. Yay!
Yes, a pretty good Kermit, man. I mean, honestly, that's not bad. Have you considered starting a voice imitation channel?
What do you mean? That was really Kermit.
It was.
It was good to hear from Kermit. The third chimpanzee made a comment here. Yeah, you know what? We had been speculating on this. My thought was that the AI is reluctant to throw Spock into the thick of it, and that Ethan Peck has some clout. And Germ basically signed on to this one with me too, but Germ was a lot more about, he thought that Ethan Peck had clout. And Ethan Peck has a little more clout than Kurtzman at this point. And he was lied to, and he was told that he was going to get to play Spock, and they make him play this absolute idiot. He goes with it for a little while because he's a good sport. But since last season, when the show really starts like almost approaching terminal velocity, it will never hit terminal velocity. I assure you that when the final episode airs, it will again be the worst episode of Star Trek ever. They've just built the worst experiment of bad writers ever. So, Sean, was that all you had to say, or do you have any more to say?
No, I actually have. I mean,
keep going.
That was
then.
just my bit. No, this was horrible. And I think I said something to you guys in our private chat earlier. Like if we would have had 5 or 6 really strong seasons of this show where it was actually good Trek, and this was like a bonus on a DVD set, let's say, it would have been funny. It would have been funny. And I'll say this now. I have to say what was good. The construction of the episode, as far as being Muppet-ish humor, they did what they wanted to do and they pulled it off. Okay. I chuckled at a couple of the things in this thing. I got to be honest. I thought the Carol Kane thing was actually pretty funny. A few of the jokes landed like they were what you would expect if they made a Muppets in Space movie. Some of the stuff in here would have worked in it, but I'm not praising the show.
Right.
I
would just add to what you're saying that while you're kind of right, like they didn't have enough. They needed like a Muppet specific joke writer. There are a few Muppet bits that fail too.
There was a lot of things that failed. Some of the stuff actually worked. I laughed when Carol Kane's thing got sliced in half. The red shirt that got the hole blown in him. That was, some of it was okay, but it doesn't excuse them just pissing on Trek. It's unearned. It pissed on us. They tried to pass it off, and like Germ agrees with me. I guarantee that Kurtzman wanted this to not be a dream. I'm sure he wanted it to be freaking real.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think we have another super chat here.
Oh.
Admiral
wrong message.
Super chat.
Our computer was serviced at the last starbase, and it just hasn't been the same. The dead man joins the Q Continuum with another generous $1.99 Greenlandian greenback super chat and says, "As Gavin told me, it's the worst episode so far." I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, this was again, in my opinion, and we had a couple more votes. Jeremy, we had another vote come in. Are we gonna count that?
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
You know what?
Fuck you, Kurtzman.
I would like the red shirts to remove the reporter from Rigel today. Okay, you are fake news. You are a terrible reporter. All right, thank you. And everyone else here has been very nice. We love you all. But you know what? The Rigel times, the Rigel, the failing Rigel today, they can't ask us any questions. They are terrible. But you know what? Your poll, we're going to allow you to keep voting for now. Briefly, a democracy again this week. But I mean, look at this. There's no spread here. This is just a shotgun blast. This is the worst one yet, sirs. Yes, we've seen worse. 14%. You are you're not alone. I honestly the amount of people who think it's the worst is definitely affecting how I feel about it. But I kind of feel like in Academy, the polygamy episode was still worse.
You think so?
It might have been.
It is close. I'll give this episode one thing. If this was the actual Muppets do Star Trek, it would have been funny.
Yeah, that was kind of what I was trying to get
across. Do a whole pigs in space movie. I mean, we have Muppets in space already. We have, Dr. Julius von Swinepork, whose fault this all is. And we had so many bad Miss Piggy things going on.
I think the main reason you may feel the way you do is because they made this a dream, which lessened the blow slightly.
They were smart. The AI prompt told them to make it a dream. All right, sure. So that's your take, right?
Yeah. It absolute fail. Worst episode ever.
Going. Yeah, like
worst episode ever. That's
it might be. All right, so my turn.
All I have to say about that.
First of all, guys, vote now. Forever hold your peace. We have a nice amount of votes, approaching 40. Is this the worst episode of anything called Star Trek ever? Sirs, yes, 58%. 28% of you were nice enough to like the stream and, just to see the results because your minds are pretty made up. I don't think anybody was going to change this poll. Even if we gave all 28% to sirs, we've seen worse. It still wouldn't come too close. It would be at about, 40%. So this is just pounding it the way that I thought the Nationals were going to pound the Mets when I went to see them. This is one of the more lopsided polls in the history of the channel. You know what? You can't argue with this kind of an audience. You guys are, you can only be right. And let's give you something to look at here. You can only be right about this one. The final results of the poll, sirs, yes, 58%. And, we've seen worse. Only 14% of you felt motivated to say that. So usually when people have strong opinions, the like stream see results goes like way down. It was like people saw the results and they're like, I'll just hit the like stream to interact. And we appreciate that because it's awesome. We also appreciate all questions later. Those are awesome too. And as you notice, I answer every one of them. And also, you know what? Likes, hit the like, even if you're coming through later. That helps. This channel is gaining some momentum and going to have to say, hopefully in the future of Star Trek, we think that they're going to whiff on that movie and that Star Trek United is going to get like a second chance. I think Star Trek United is starting to happen in the weirdest way. I think the odds of Star Trek United went up with the announcement they're going to try to announce a movie because they're going to need a stopgap and that movie's going to need to be held off before it can work. This, I've seen more difficult to watch episodes of Star Trek. I have seen stupider ones. Believe it or not, Section 31 might have been stupider than this, honestly. But this was really, really, really stupid. I had a hard time accepting how dumb it was. I had a hard time with the long, long moments of regarding space from the point of view of a puppet and Anson Mount having his leadership moment as a puppet and waxing poetic about space as a puppet, the way Jeffrey Hunter does about the hallucinations in the cage, or Kirk during the naked time, no gold braid on my shoulder for one day, no beach to walk upon, like throwing himself into it like that as a fucking puppet. I'm like, okay, I get it, you're trying, but it fell apart for even Ethan Peck. This was probably in a lot of ways, the worst episode of anything called Star Trek ever. We'll be back on Saturday night with better Star Trek. We love you all. Mark, are you doing anything between then and now?
Might have a couple of shorts up, and I've got a lot of Terrificon stuff, but we'll be back for Sunday Night Geekery. So, always appreciate everyone hanging out over my channel, and thank you for giving me the chance to plug away.
Oh, Sean, have you finished the model? No problem. Thank you.
No, I haven't had a chance. My my air conditioner in the garage went out, and we've been having 105, and we're at 105,
I was worried about
degrees.
You even getting here. It's so hot there. I'm glad that you're in one piece. All right.
Yeah.
So watch my channel for videos dropping. I'll be doing Star Trek on Saturday with these fine gentlemen. We'll all be back again at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time with
got the menagerie.
Mud's Women. It's Mud's Women.
Oh, Mud's Women, then the menagerie.
We got the menagerie next. Yeah. And I guess that
Are you going to do 2 shows for the menagerie or 1 show?
I think we could do one.
Page, we could do one. We'll only do.
Yeah.
The thing is, if we start getting really behind and we can't pull it off, then I will do it, and I'll allot half of the next show to either Patent Thoughts, or we could finally talk about Spider-Man on this channel, something we haven't done because life's been so crazy. But this really was terrible. We'll be back on Saturday night with Mud's Women. And I think that you guys have all earned Sydney Sweeney. I messed up last week and I left you guys hanging without Sydney. People were, I got letters. Like, one of the things I got, most of the comments were like, you know what, like the Sydney Sweeney thing, like we wanted that.
Oh, it was terrible. It was terrible. I was so looking forward to Sydney Sweeney, and I was like, oh God,
we all.
I could hear the song in my head as I was like imagining the gloriousness of Sydney Sweeney's visage, and Oh, it was such a disappointment, but we still love you.
You know what? Let's let Sydney go right now.
Yes, even rich Corinthian leather.
That was great. All right, listen, guys, we love you all, and we will be back on Saturday night with real Star Trek, and we'll see you then. Have a great night. Please hit the like and follow, and if you want, go back to the beginning of the stream. Watch the opening with the coroner's report on the cause of death for this terrible episode of non-Star Trek. There are only
21 more to go.
21 episodes of as many as there were producers of this piece of garbage. In the words of the great Ozzy Osbourne, we love you all.